thanking you for everything that you'd ever done for me, telling you that I would be okay and that you didn't have to worry about me. I know you understood all I said. Well, I hope you did. Thank you for being the best grandmother anyone could ever ask for. You loved me so much and I loved you even more. And thank you for raising me when I was growing up all those years. I have so many fond memories of us together. Stories I'll one day tell my future kids, so they too will know all about you. I love you and I miss you, but I know that one day we will meet again. But till then, please take care of yourself and know that you'll always be in my heart.
That's nice.
No.
So sweet.
That was hard in the beginning.
Beautiful.
I feel so like vulnerable right now. Like, I feel just really like naked. Like I just shared so much with you all today. But yeah, she was really important to me in my life. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. This is gonna make nobody cry.
I'll try my best.
It's not gonna make anyone cry. But this is like coming back from Europe. These are like the thoughts that I had in my head. Okay, so this is actually a letter that I wrote to my children or my descendants. So how many times have I cringed at the sound of my own voice, or laughed at someone else's Singlish, or changed the way I spoke in front of my Western counterparts? Well, it wasn't until recently that I realized how prejudiced I had been against myself for so long. I understood from a young age that language is power, and especially in Singapore, your command of language defines you and limits you. Standardized English gets you status, gets you good grades, and gets you praise. Conversely, you use Singlish, and it's used against you to shame you and to humiliate you. But honestly, why should it? Taking a language that was forced upon us and making it uniquely Singaporean by adding elements from languages that we speak and speech patterns that we use is not how our language degrades. In fact, that is how we give it value. The same principle holds true with all things that we consider beautiful. For my children, it would be your olive skin or your biracial features. It has been 200 years since Raffles and 60 years since our independence. So to all my descendants, it is time for you to decolonize.
What?
What?
Are you going with this letter?
Decolonize! Embrace who you are. What the Embrace who you are is about embracing who they are.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be a globalized world, he's gonna go out there.
Okay.
I don't want him to like look at other kids and be like, oh, I wish I was fair. Oh, I wish I was blonde. I
Yeah.
wish I looked Korean. Like, embrace who you are and you stand up straight with your shoulders back. Always be honest with yourself and don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. Because you can't hate yourself into becoming a version of you that you love. Okay? So that's where I went. Decolonize. Singlish for me was like just one point to keep the letter short, but there's so many things. Like, I don't like the way people are like, oh, you know, if you want to see beautiful Singapore, you go to Supreme Court, you go to Victoria Concert Theatre, like all these like colonial things, all these British inspired things. Your heritage, like let's say you're Indian, like, oh yeah, Little India is also nice. The mosque is also nice. It's not inferior, and we need to stop thinking of our own culture as inferior. And I feel like if he can't embrace that, then it's not going to be good. And when you're stuck in Singapore, you don't like see it. But then when you go overseas, you really do feel like, hey, I'm inferior. I mean, have you ever been overseas and then you talk to someone and your accent changes? They don't put on an accent for me. Like,
It's true. Why do we do that for them?
Yeah, why do we do it for people? Like when and we tell ourselves, oh, so they understand us better. But this time when I went overseas, I didn't bother dropping my accent and everyone understood me just fine. So it's not against them, it's something that we do to ourselves.
So we've come to the end of this episode. I hope you guys liked it. This episode is actually brought to you by Samsung. They recently launched 2 new products. One is the Galaxy 4, which all of us are wearing and we're using to check our heart rate just now. And also the Buds 2, which we were wearing when we were writing the letters. So this watch has ECG monitoring that actively checks for abnormal heart rates, and they actually send the data straight to your phone. There's also There's also blood pressure monitoring, which means that you can check your blood pressure anytime, anywhere. And it doesn't stop there, it also has very intelligent health monitoring, so you can check your body composition, BMI and BMR, so you can keep your fitness goals in check. And the Galaxy Buds 2, it has noise cancelling and also dynamic two-way speakers. And it's also very good for calls because it has a clear call function. Every word that you say will be very crispy. And adding on top of all of that, it also fits very, very well, guys. So it has a secure fit. It really fits very well into my ear, and I think everyone else's ear also. So it kind of like is for everyone. and everyday use like you want to use to run, you want to use to sit in the bus, listen music, also can. More information can be found about all the products that I mentioned above in the description box below. And we'd like to thank Joanna and Sophia for coming here and pouring their heart out to all of us. It was a very difficult episode for some of us, but we are very thankful.
Yes,
Thank you
thank you
for
for sharing.
having us.
Yeah, if you have anything you'd like us to talk about, let us know in the comment section below. If not, we'll see you in the next episode.
Ciao.
They are so emboldened, right, that what is fun to them, right, is that, you know, we drink the pink dolphin and we take the bottle cap, right, they just shoot at the teacher when he turn his head, right, and then he just turn back and he say, who? Then it was an old man somehow.
Do you also like to create fake WhatsApp messages just to get attention? This is your daily catch-up. So just over the weekend, John sent me this screenshot leaked WhatsApp message of like a conversation between an IT student and her old tuition
Alleged
teacher.
leak.
Alleged leak lah. Alleged. So basically, the tuition teacher, tuition. I'm just going to say tuition. The tuition teacher was asking her former student, "Hey, what JC are you in now?" Because she wanted like a testimonial, and then the student was like, "I'm an ITE," and then the teacher just started like berating about how you're a disgrace, like.
Then the person say, oh, how can you like waste your parents' money, you embarrass them.
But I think the branding of IT has improved a lot over the last like 5 to 10 years. Like, they are now like a place where you learn, like it's more hands-on. You get acquire a special skill set that allows you to get very specific jobs and whatnot, right? Yeah, I think it's quite cool. And there are a lot of success stories coming on IT also.
From what we've seen from the leak message, so it was shared on this like IG handle, Black Belt Clan, like essentially they're an education company.
The name is Black Belt Clan.
They're an education company and like they basically create courses online. And so when that alleged leak was leaked and posted on their IG, a lot of comments started to roll in about IT success stories. And people saying that why are people looking now at IT? Because there's a lot of successes. So about a day later, right, allegations of like the message being actually fabricated started to like roll.
And so it's the company's publicity stunt, is it?
Yeah, so people started to get skeptical. And also when John sent me, my first reaction was like, hey, is this fake? Because it feels very weird, the conversation. And then John also like agreed.
My first reply is also fake, but then I sent him.
Well, that's how all the fake news spread.
Correct. But yeah, so like people felt like it was just a little bit odd, like the way how the teacher was asking for this. And like you also would say like, hey, where you study, instead of like, which JC are you in? Like, it's so presumptuous.
And it's like, if you're the tuition teacher and that person didn't go to JC, isn't it your fault though?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up also.
But it's fake lah!
But if it's
Ayo, I'm so
fabricated,
sure
yeah.
it's fake.
Yeah,
Because confirm already, man.
No.
So before that post, they had previous posts also talking about how IT gets a bad reputation and like how they're trying to recorrect the perception. And so they have like quite like a few goodwill projects lah of trying to like educate.
Also, it's a good company, but then the stunt just a
Yeah,
disaster.
the problem is in the execution. But if I'm not wrong, they also never upfront say that this text message is a reenactment.
Yeah, because they said that this was a text message that one of the Black Belt Clan like staff members received. Like it was received from a friend.
Cone-shaped hat.
Hey, they are nice companies.
Hey, yeah, they are nice people.
They are nice people.
But their abbreviation is BBC lah.
Hey, childish, why are you laughing?
Oh my god, the name has been affecting me since the start.
The only thing he heard was the name.
Why would you do that? Who's the
On
idiot
purpose
that
one, what?
named this company?
Oh, the genius.
No, but I think at the end, at the end of the day, what people have been saying is that I think initially people were giving it hate for being fabricated, but fabricated or not, right? IT students have come out and said that this is not new. They suffer this discrimination anyway every day. And like I think it begs the question of like does education or like where you study like still matter lah, and like why are people hating on people that are going to IT? Yeah.
So was the clan the one that leaked it?
They posted it on their Instagram.
No, so their,
Oh, they were the ones that
theory is that
posted
they
it.
made it up, this
Right,
whole
right,
thing.
right. Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is true, as in like what we mentioned just now, that there is this bad connotation to the ITE name. But as in, does that still matter anymore? Like what school you go to, or
Yeah, because like I think another post that they had was that a common story that they receive from students is that parents and teachers you might end up in IT as a threat or a motivation to
Right.
like get students to like study harder, which is so unfair lah.
Yeah.
Because like why do you have to do that? Like IT is also a first destination now for like many
my
other
mom
students.
actually said that to me before though.
What?
The IT thing, I like threaten that kind of thing. But and actually, when I finished secondary school, I was very sure I wanted to go poly, cause I wanted to do like psych. Like I was interested in it, then I wanted to go and study that lah.
Was that what you did?
No, cause my mother say poly cui. Then yeah, so I mean, if that's what she thinks of poly, then on top of that, then she ITE like as in.
Right.
I feel like in general, the older generation has a more like fixed structure of like what school is a good school, like what school is elite, and then you have to go there, and then everyone.
Sorry, so then you went to JC
yeah, so I went to
and you
JC.
completed JC.
Yeah.
And then you went to uni and dropped out. Yeah, let's get it out of system. The guy is strong.
He joking on the BBC, that's why.
Yeah, really. I'm still thinking about. Okay,
Release, yeah, is it?
okay. Yeah.
Why is that funny? I really don't get it.
Because it's childish. It's like if I say
Yeah, it's
booby, he also
childish.
laugh.
No lah, yeah. It's like,
So your mother didn't want you to go to ITE, you want to go poly, she didn't want you to go poly, so you went to JC, completed JC, and then went to uni and dropped out.
Yeah. No, but the uni I go to is LaSalle lah.
Right.
As in not to say that it's a lousy uni.
yes, yeah.
why did you
Okay lah, why you need to?
No, but compared to NUS NTU, which is like top 10 in the world, right?
Not
it's-
for design lah. If you want
Yeah,
to do design,
correct.
I take your Russell anything.
Wait, but then that means your mom's plan put you in the worst situation already, right? Because now you just A-level only, which is lower than the rest, right?
Yeah. Hey, but my mom's decision put me here now though.
We don't know yet though. Your life might turn sideways. We don't know yet.
Next episode, I'm not here already. No, but I wonder how much the like teachers are to blame for bad grades. You know, because every time in school, right, last time you do badly, you're like, hey, my teacher lousy, that kind of thing. Or like, my teacher teach me wrong thing, all this kind of stuff. But how much of it is actually the teacher, how much is just you lazy?
I think from primary school and secondary school, nobody think that way one lah. Because the stuff that's taught to you is quite straightforward, no man.
Wow.
In uni that happened to
hurt
me.
many people in
no,
that sentence.
so in uni, right, there was a whole like scandal because right, or not scandal lah, but there's this whole hoo-ha around this particular teacher, right, who basically if you go and ask him for the answer, he will tell you the answer.
Right.
And the way he teaches you is that he basically just wants you to give the exact answer that he's looking for. So everybody ended up just copy. For the final exam, right, everybody gave the same answer, and you know you have the plagiarism check.
Yeah.
Everybody kena like 70%, the whole batch.
Right.
Then it became a issue lah with the examination
Board.
people. Yeah.
Turn it in.
Yeah, then after he kena. I think he
In
kena.
poly, right? So I studied leisure resort management. So one of the things is like club management or something like that. Basically like forming the club and then the infrastructure for the club.
Totally different.
So then me and my friends, right, came out with this. I forgot the name of our club lah.
But club is so much better than clan, right?
Black belt.
No wait, so then it was a billionaires club. For yeah, so we had then global concierge service and like all that stuff. Then you get that coin lah, you know, that coin that you can pass on. Yeah. And then we were damn proud of it because I felt like it was damn well developed, right? And everybody else did women's club, like car club, which is like
Boring.
it's there lah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So then we decided to think of something that we couldn't find ma. And then the teacher said that it was very impractical and not possible. And we got like a C or D or whatever on that impracticalness of it, you know. And then you look at it today.
There's so many social like
billionaire clubs now.
yeah.
Yeah. This was 10 years ago. No foresight.
ahead of your times, yeah.
I know your name. Yeah.
You have any like shit teachers?
That one that
Yeah lah, besides that one lah.
You know, wait, I went to complain to the school, right? And we were damn gangster about it. We were damn angry. So we really told the teacher off and all that stuff, right? Then we say we want another lecturer to come in and regrade, right? And then he called his best friend lecturer. And both of them sit in together. And the teacher that gave us that grade, right, just sat down there and kept quiet. And the other person just try and defend him the best he can. Then we just talk halfway and then realize he's just defending him.
Yeah.
And then we walk out of the room.
Wow, that's damn gangster.
His grade's not gangster though.
Cannot complain to somebody higher up, man.
I mean, back then that was
Right.
that was where we did lah.
Right.
But I think that's like that's the whole debate, right, with the education system. Like, do you want students to learn, or do you just want them to get grades and then like basically hit certain criterias, right? Because I feel like a lot of times when you are exam based, and then especially with like tuition teachers also, like they're looking at results, right, at the end of the day, and so they're just feeding you like the best possible answer so that you can just hit the grades. But I was very lucky, so like, not to be the sport person I am, right? But I went to an international school in Singapore.
Spoiled me.
And like,
Pity, oh. It was for nothing, sir. No, go.
I turned out pretty okay.
Wait,
I
why you
think.
don't have accent one?
Accent.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like,
accent.
I only went there when I was 14 so I think you develop your accent like around
Yeah.
13 whatever lah. But
It must be just
Miss-
one
miss
year.
my
yeah, the point that I was trying to make was that at that point of time, I don't know whether they've changed it anymore lah, but the emphasis was on learning, so much so that at Sec 1, Sec 2 and Sec 3, right, there was no final year exam.
Wow.
What a blessing.
You just learned, you were graded based on your how you perform throughout the entire year lah.
Wait, so when there were tests, it's according to textbook still lah, right? Like it's not like unconventional exams.
We rarely had a textbook, to be honest. I mean, for science and all, like we had textbook and math lah, but I think for like history, we didn't really have a textbook.
Then how?
So who won?
As in, there was obviously a syllabus, but like we rarely learned from textbooks. We learned from watching BBC programs. We learned from retelling of stories.
So the teacher just tells you a story?
Yeah,
That's so
and he was
fun.
fantastic. He was everyone's favorite, and everyone did really well for history. Before I joined at school, right, history was always about memorizing the details. It was just about memorizing, and I don't really remember what actually happened. But when you are learning that way, right, you are actually learning a story at the end of the day. It's like watching a movie, and then it's so much easier to actually understand the significance of why certain things happen and the details also. So I feel like it's how you're being taught lah.
I remember there'll be that one fun day, right, when like the principal or like some MOE person come down, sit at the back of the class, right, and then suddenly that day class is damn fun. The group work all show video, then
Toys got question, got chocolate. Well, I feel like the teachers got no shame on her. They really got no shame, and they can be f***ing you just 2 minutes before the fella show up.
no, but they'll tell you
Then
that
they just
someone's
snap.
coming.
No, mine they never prep us. They just snap into their dream teacher mode.
Yeah.
And then they just not shy about it. The fella leaves the color just change. She don't even want to address it. She don't even want to like, class, thanks for making my life easier. Like they just pretend that this is a you are. So anyway,
A lot
Why
of
we let them get away with this?
yeah, we should call them out.
Yeah.
We should ask them questions they cannot answer. Like, hey, last week when you told me to off, you know what I mean?
or like, hey, teacher, how come you so different today? Like you not normally. Like,
Yeah. Why are you suddenly so kind?
Why haven't scored anybody in the last 10 seconds?
the nicest you've ever been in 5 years, yeah.
My class got very bad, right? When we did N levels, right? Then there were 40 of us. Then after N level, right, there was 13 of us. There were a few people that still made the score, but I think the principal sat them down and said that I don't think you'll do well in O levels. I think you should drop out. So I don't know whether it's to protect the school reputation or really genuine advice for these young people.
But why is it? I mean, it could be both though.
It could be. My class were people that were all like gang leader level already. It's like when we collect our O-level score, people can drive in, because they all like they retain until Tulan already. they all got license already. So then
The Mitsubishi Evo 7.
yeah.
Same. They go both school. or they all share the car, they pay together, then they drive to each one.
Wow.
Yeah, probably
No,
same gang
yeah,
also back
but-
then. You all got bully like relief teacher kind, or like the new trainee teachers.
I feel like I'm damn nice to them, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like, but the general class usually got attitude one, man, no man. Like,
correct.
you know that particular class is gonna fuck the teacher up, kind, you know. Or like, we will
there's
make sure
this
that every
teacher-
trainee will cry before they finish their 3-month training stint.
Horrible.
No, you
sia.
want them to just give up, because when they give up, they just sit there.
Then you break them, right? Then
you
they
try to-
become real. We try to humanize them.
You all
I got this teacher that came in and she was a damn good teacher. She was not a relief teacher, but she was a new teacher.
Yeah.
and you feel sorry.
And my
for-
class is the gangster class, so wow, then she kept crying every day.
And then you
like-
protect her. lah.
No, then
but
he
they all,
will.
they all gang leaders, you know. No, we trying, like, I was doing my best really. Like, I did averagely, but my class position is forever number one. Like, I like unchallenged one. Like, maybe my average percentile is like 67%. I'm class number one already. The next guy is 54. Then like the first 5 of us, then from class position 6 onwards, the rest failed. That kind of one. So like, I was already number one, and what you want me to do? I'm already sitting there paying attention already.
But the school, right, purposely throw the trainee there, one.
Trial by
Throw you
fire.
into the deep end, yeah. Then let you survive. Why the f they put a trainee teacher in that class? No
Because
reason to,
all the
what?
teachers quit.
Or they not
No,
enough
rubber
staff.
one, they are so emboldened, right, that what is fun to them, right, is that, you know, we drink the pink dolphin and we take the bottle cap, right? They just shoot at the teacher when he turn his head, right? And then he just turn back and he say, who? Then it was an old man somehow. I still remember his name. His face is in my head.
But he's a trainee.
His go-to move is to off the light, off the fan. Then he's like, it's not that bad. So only like the fat kids, like also the fat kids, then we just sit down there and say like, okay, it's quite bad. But most of them is really not that bad. And then we just walk there and turn on, and then we stand beside the switch, then he cannot touch the students, ma.
Yeah.
So he's just like, what are you gonna do about it, son?
Walao.
You know, then he obviously don't have to pick on the bigger kids, which honestly is higher chance they threw the bottle cap. I mean, it really is them.
Yeah.
But so he will pick on the ones that he dare to, like if a fight breaks out, he won't die kind of fight, right?
Yeah.
And then he will punish them, right? But the solidarity in the class is so strong, right? We just get punished off. Then he can call the principal come in. First few times, principal entertain him. Then after a while, he said, I'm going to call Mr. Low. Then he leaves the class for 20 minutes, he come back by himself. The principal don't want to come with him already. Because he keeps going like that.
That's damn horrible.
It's damn horrible. You got on second floor, right? Got a mezzanine level, then he from level 1, right? 3 bottle cap together. Then everybody just hide off. Then he just stand on there in the mid because we are on mezzanine, so we take 3 steps back, you cannot see. I mean, I never tried, I swear to God. But I witnessed it. I was on the same level as him. Yeah, so then they just have to take 3 steps back, then you cannot see who threw the bottle cap already.
Right.
So he was standing there in the empty hall, right? And the seemingly empty mezzanine. And he's just scolding people. Then it makes him look crazy.
Like crazy,
Yeah, but actually somebody I saw, I know who threw.
The amount of detail you're going into this, right? Even the way you do this, right?
Yeah,
I really
It's not
think
me.
you're
I
one
was
of them.
actually very impressed how come they can hit his head
Damn sus.
all the time. Like I cannot shoot straight.
Wow, can you imagine how demeaning he must feel like?
Yeah,
after
and
his
he's
job?
so gaslighted that he's crazy. Because the students keep hiding and then the solidarity so strong, nobody rat anybody out. He go into class, he's so angry because someone shot a bottle cap during recess, right?
Yeah.
And he just go in and he just off the light, he just off the fan immediately to make us perspire. Then the class, like 90% of them legit don't know what happened, ma.
It's so difficult to be a teacher.
It's damn hard.
Like, you just imagine like
Then imagine the child don't do well, the parents complain, you
yeah,
will get
exactly.
Wow,
Like you're there to help them, right? To educate them. Then if like you get to the point where you're so angry, sometimes they walk out
Yeah.
to try to make you feel guilty, you know. But then they still have to come back.
Yeah.
The next class.
Yeah.
Then
No,
you're down there like,
you can
wow.
be jaded so quickly. Like you want to be a teacher because like you think, okay, I'm gonna educate and change
For
the
many
world,
people,
right?
this is their passion.
Yeah.
Then their passion throw bottle caps at them.
And then I think all it takes is like 2 months, right, to just feel like this is just the worst.
I don't know if now it's worse, but back then, right, teachers can use physical punishment. Right? Like in primary school, right, they take the metal ruler or wooden ruler, right,
Yeah.
ask you hold your knuckle out, then they whack the knuckles, yeah.
Hey, and I did well in school back then.
Ah.
Because they beat me.
Huh?
Yeah. Like my Chinese was so bad, then for every question wrong, they take the feather duster. I mean, this lady, she chill somehow. Like young, like 20s, but she can whack. And then she, like, for every score that you don't get, she smack your hand one time.
Then you like,
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, what if the kid?
So obviously,
oh yeah.
obviously the rest of my class, right, they fail because they didn't study or they don't want to study or
Yeah.
they just didn't want to do.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm genuinely bad. I really try and study. I really cannot remember. And so everybody go there, right? It's like, oh, one by one you go out, right? Then all the, primary school, they start already, right? They just walk out there, then they hit the pop, then they just go back, sit down, they pull their chest, clap! Then just sit down. And for me, right, she smacked me one time, and I got like 8 wrong or 7 wrong, and I got 6 more smacks to go. She smacked me one time, right? I try and be like that guy, because he damn cool, he like my hero, right? His name is Elvin, by the way. Then he smacked me one time, right? Then my eye already welling out in tears already. Like if I blink, right? So I just go and trying to be straight, but it's not like earth-shattering pain. But my body betrayed me. Like my tears just flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you can tell she looked at my face. She can tell she know I'm gonna lose a lot of street cred. She smacked me one more time. Then she always give me chance.
Wow.
Yeah. So she smacked me like twice, thrice.
look after
then
you,
she said I want to cry already, right? And she bring me back. I remember in like Sec 1, Sec 2, right? The literature class, and then it was about this book called Matilda. They all read it.
Is it Roald Dahl?
Yeah, there's a girl with special powers and all that stuff. So obviously I
Is it a
couldn't.
different book?
I couldn't finish the. I mean, I didn't even try lah. Like, I didn't even buy the book. I might have owned it. I don't know lah, but like really never read. Then for some reasons, midway through lit, right, the teacher pulled out the film. There was a movie. It was a very good movie, and so we watched it and we really liked it. So throughout, from there onwards, I could smoke my way through everything. Then like the exams all come out, right? Then I realized that the movie ending and the book ending was different because the book ending was quite dark or some shit. So then I followed the movie all the way to a T lah. The dialogue I quote the word because like wow, I really enjoyed the movie. Before Lee, I went to rewatch the movie.
The effort.
I managed to quote the thing off all wrong there, basket.
So you never pass.
Pass lah.
So
But the teacher got put remarks to say that
Belum watch the movie.
I think you quoted the movie. I really never read, yeah.
Actually, on the point of exams, right? So in primary school, right, I had this. I think for my last 2 years, I had the same form teacher. So he teaches science one. Then he abing one. He's the one that you know he smoked during the break just outside the gate where students still can see one, right? This guy go and light up a cigarette in class,
Oh.
and say this is a science experiment, Then he light smoke. Then he go burn one plant, in like those science dish, you know.
Secondary school?
Primary school.
Oh my god!
Then at that point we all like, oh, this guy damn cool, this guy damn cool.
Yeah.
But now I think back like, what the is going on?
He just needed to smoke.
Yeah. Then right, this same fella, when I receiving my PSLE results, right, he have to give one by one, go and collect or some shit. So then I go up, because I'm quite nervous, because I don't know, it's my first big exam in life, right? Like, oh, what's gonna happen? Then I go up to him, he look at me, right? Wow, his smile big. He like, wow, I'm damn proud of you, sir. I didn't expect you to do so well. Then he give me the slate open, right? The results like shit.
My N level is like that.
Did your parents go with you to collect results?
Probably.
My mother go with me to collect PSLE, then after that she never come already. Then PSLE open, like 251, she cry. She like disappoint her.
Huh?
Do what?
I never hit 200.
Then after that, then my brother scored 2-3 something, then she never say anything.
She just create this story so she can say her PSLE results.
Yeah. Don't say, you
never say mine.
251 is not even that high.
You should read it like that in
Wow.
WhatsApp.
No, as in that's clearly higher.
In comparison to.
I got 178.
You're the first person I know that's start
Less
with
than
one.
200. Yeah. No, so I also didn't know. Like, and back then, right?
I better.
Back then, you choose school before you get results, so you had no bearing. So my own bearing is my sister lah. Then both of them very smart which I had a very terrible childhood over because they were both like, the school board in front got their name, that kind of one,
Wow.
Like student council president, like kind of top scorer shit one.
Right.
So then I just like struggling, right?
Oh, you're the black sheep.
I'm really the black sheep, and then
He's from the black
blah, 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 clan.
The clan.
No, then what was my point?
Your sisters.
Hey,
Then
this
your
memory.
results like shit. You're not very smart.
Oh yeah, no. So then you pick your school first, right? Then my sister's aggregate was 2-3 something, 2-2 something. So I thought, okay lah, maybe I'm also gonna be about there lah. Cause nobody think they're stupid, everybody think they're about same. So I went to pick my school all based on express stream, not knowing anything other than express.
But if you pick first, then how do they accept you?
Exactly. So after my year, they changed.
Oh.
Then my year, I born in 1990. So a lot of changes take place for the 1991 kids because like ours is like the end of the era kind.
No wonder.
So everything off, yeah. So I just pick all the schools with the 2-2 plus aggregate one, and come out boom 178. Then I was like, I didn't know that there was such a low. Then I asked so many people. Then so many people got 100 plus, right? Then I asked my best friend. I said, what he got? He said he got 68. I said, oh, what? Like,
Wait, is that possible?
yeah.
Two numbers.
Two numbers. I said, how can? I said, did you show up? But he rebelled to the point whereby he just left the paper blank.
Where is he now?
Then how did he get
I
68?
don't know, huh?
No, cause the standard deviation after the
I don't know. I think it's like your score one lah. So like maybe 4 exams plus together, he's still not 100.
Then he cannot go anywhere. It's those repeat the P6 one, right?
Never repeat.
Wait, so where did he go?
He
He
cannot
went
go
to
anywhere.
ITE.
Ah.
No, you see, I think that's the problem also.
How can you go to IT after primary school?
When no, as in, I don't know lah. Maybe some normal tech somewhere else.
Right.
Then went to ITE. But I think that was their problem also. They created an education system whereby everyone could pursue tertiary, even if you are not academically inclined. Yeah, and there was that whole wave of people that, hey, you are laughing at my friend, he was my best friend.
No, but laughing at the way you said tertiary.
Oh, really? Really? How do I say tertiary?
Tertiary.
I don't know. I'm still laughing at 68.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was the only one not.
I was triggered again because Darren started laughing.
I'm the only one with a heart here, man.
Maybe after that
I
he
feel like it
joined
should be
the
30
clan
plus.
then.
I'm not sure also. Yeah, but he got double digit and then he just cried. No, wait. So I think one of the problems with the reputation of ITE was that back then they created a tertiary system whereby, like even if you were not academically inclined, you can go beyond secondary school.
Right.
Yeah, and I think they took their whole early batch of people, right, to say that you cannot study, you can go there. I think that was that narrative to try and fill up the school as soon as possible. And that stuck with them. Until right now they become like some world-class technical institution, right? It makes sense, what? Not everybody is good by the book, what? If you're not good by book, then you go and learn how to use your hands, lah. Which is fantastic, what? Everything makes sense, right? And then you get the best teachers to come and teach you how to use your hands, lah.
Wait, but then like that, then IT is like the clearly opposite of is the end. It's literally all these people that could not have made it to other schools, right? Like have a place to use their hands.
Like, okay, like Dan brought out earlier that is our education system supposed to get people to get the right answer or to like inspire creativity? For the longest time, it was not supposed to inspire creativity, right? It was not. It was the whole point of getting Singaporeans to fill up jobs that MNCs will come into Singapore to create. And so when our early leaders went out to bring MNCs to Singapore, we had to promise them that our workforce can work for you. And so it was very simple. I will promise you that all my workforce can speak English. And then it just kind of went from there. And we are just feeling, and that's why if you teach, honestly, children financial literacy, they'll come in a point whereby nobody wants to work for these companies. But not everybody will achieve financial independence by themselves. Yeah, and so I think, but this is based on nothing. I think it was a deliberate decision not to teach financial literacy at that point of time. Because what you needed was a disciplined, consistent workforce.
Yeah. Plus, I think if we go back to like the whole hypothesis that it was the government that wanted to first optimize in what, the 60s, 70s, that when the industrial boom happened?
I think so.
Like, there was no guarantee that we will get to the success that Singapore is right now also. So I think it's quite hard to like think that long term.
Right. So they were just scrambling for that time,
that short-term success.
Yeah, but and the same kind of holds true today though. Though 99% of the workforce go out to work for a big company or a company, we still only need that 1 to 5% of innovators. Yeah.
But we do stay in, as in, wow, like we do stay in such a lucky time, you know, that we
Really,
know
really.
all of this stuff. And like what he mentioned also, right, that like we have all the technology that we have in this time and all that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that's what people in the 50s thought as well? It's like, oh my god, we got horse carriages.
There was this campaign like a couple years back, right, where they got a lot of people, like people who are doing well and whatnot already, right, to take a photo and post on Instagram, right, with their PSLE score.
Oh, yes.
Wow, I thought that campaign was freaking good, eh.
Yeah.
Like it sends out such a good message in terms of like
Your grades don't define you.
yeah.
No, but then early on, the campaign messages came out, so it was 150, 160, and then they were successful. And then after that, it became those 250
plus,
As with every campaign.
But if they 250 but they no job.
Unemployed. And that will help the cause.
Yeah.
That help the cause.
that would really, yeah.
Something that I didn't like that my school used to do, right, was like during assembly and all that, right, they will say like they receive complaints from people in the neighborhood and all that, whatever, people of school people being rowdy outside. Then they will say, girls, we are a premier school and this is not how you should act. And then like I feel like that perpetuated like that elitism. I say elitism, but anyways. Yeah, and I felt like that like fed into like my mind and all that.
So you think you're better than other people? Like neighborhood school,
At that point, yeah.
Right.
But now I'm woke. Expand your mind.
I think the culture of elitism is
It's
quite
wrong.
It's elitism.
Elitism. Yeah, I think the culture of elitism in Singapore is quite common. Like I remember being in secondary school and like my friends who came from elite primary schools and came from neighborhood primary schools. The one from neighborhood primary schools never dared to say like where they came from.
But I feel like primary school not counted because it's like you go nearby. Then after that it's your grades. Yeah. But I see your point. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of like, so you're talking about like bad teachers, right?
Yeah.
So I had this teacher, right, who, I mean, she was this damn hot, like, she was fairly attractive, Angmo PE teacher. And
Fairly attractive only.
she got fired because her sex tapes like leaked online.
Oy.
So like the story is she cheated on her husband, and then the husband as revenge, right, posted all the nudes that she would like send him.
Angmo husband, you think?
Angmo husband also. And so I mean she cheated on him. The story or the cult legend, right, is that she slept with like I think 1 or 2 students, but we don't know for real. We don't know.
No,
For real.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but you got the videos.
Not of the sex with,
With the other stuff lah. Any lah.
It went around lah. Let's just say it went
Oh,
around. I don't have it saved,
Okay.
but it went around. It circulated. And it's TikTok time.
TikTok
relevant.
So for this one is called Imposter Challenge. So these are all water, but one of them is salt water.
Okay.
So you all have to pick one cup.
Okay.
And then,
All drink, then guess who is the one
and
with
then
the
you all
salt.
guess who's the
Okay, salt water easy, right?
Okay.
Okay.
A lot of salt.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Nice. One of them is salted, the rest are not.
Who's the imposter?
I know which one is salted one already. Just by using my brain.
I take this. Cheers, lads.
Okay, I take this in front of me.
So the
I'm taking this.
Cute. Yeah. Hence is the Food Panda cup.
Right.
Salty. They say overflexed it. He overflexed it. Just drink lah.
okay.
It's so obvious it's him already.
But he's also a very good actor. I think the black cup.
Just now he was very confident before we started.
Got the.
Then he crying.
Lil Reba.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Let us know what your PS early score is and what you're doing now. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.
Boost your employability with the SG United Skills Programs presented by Singapore Media Academy. Get a training allowance of $1,200 a month while you train and learn. Singapore Media Academy offers full-time training courses in media writing, sound and video editing, online marketing and content creation. These programs are part of the SG United Jobs and Skills Package. Course fees can be offset by the Skills Future Credit. For more information, visit pd.mediaacademy.sg.
You got scammed ah.
Aiyo! Just create his own segment for him.
Have you ever been confronted in public? It's Tuesday, June 8. A couple had an encounter with a racist man and Carol is back. This is your daily catch-up. Yeah. So since last week's vaccination drive for students, people aged between 12 to 18, if we're going to be clear about that, more than 20,000 of them have been vaccinated and over 180,000, that's 80% of our teenagers have registered their interest.
Good.
Great numbers. To even break down the numbers even further, 9 in 10 students from the graduating cohort have signed up to be vaccinated. So
You
almost
cock up whenever you have to say
right.
vaccination.
Vaccination is such a hard word to say.
It's not really.
So very, very healthy numbers.
Is this considered very fast?
Super.
Especially
Oh,
if they
I
just,
don't know.
I mean, they just started last week. It's
International level is different. Like in Singapore, there's this privilege we have of we don't want the vax or we want to wait and see. But not every country can afford to wait and see. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some of them are fighting for it, not knowing whether like they don't understand the science of it. They don't know whether it works or doesn't work. But they just want to get the vaccine because the alternative is to get it and die from it.
Yeah. In other COVID news, the WHO has included the Sinovac vaccine on the list for emergency use.
So Sinovac is part of the choices now, is it?
No, I don't think so. No,
No,
right?
not yet.
Basically, what I read in the article is that they have not gotten all the information, all the data points they need yet
From Sinovac.
from Sinovac, correct? But I think you can still get it, right?
Also, you can still get it at private healthcare institutions. The stock, the doses at MOH will now be made available to private healthcare institutions for free
But the private healthcare institutions are allowed to charge a fee just to cover like manpower costs and things like that.
Yeah, so right, I saw, I actually got a WhatsApp chain message.
Yeah.
So I opened it, right, and it was basically about how Singapore is scared of like offending Western powers.
That's why we are not adding Sinovac to the vaccination driver.
Yeah, yeah.
But Johnson and Johnson and AstraZeneca is
The Western also.
also on the list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they're also available for emergency use, but not available in our vaccination drive.
Right.
I really don't know what people get out of creating a chain message.
Yeah.
I guess there's a small kick lah, right? To see whether you get it back.
Yeah.
You
The
imagine
viral master of
correct, you
WhatsApp.
send it, then when you get it back, oh,
Yeah.
proof of success. Then the next time you meet your copy friends, you're like, hey, do you all get this message? Then you think, yeah, you imagine how such a...
It's from me.
So it's on the WHO list of emergency use vaccines, which is abided by countries that cannot acquire enough or cannot even acquire the more developed or the more
So we
recommended
have the
vaccines.
luxury of choice lah, in a sense.
Yeah, it was those that couldn't procure the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine.
Wait, so my mom was actually told by doctors to like not take Pfizer and Moderna, maybe wait for Sinovac, right? So does this mean she can take or cannot take?
Right.
Okay.
Then she should go and check what, because MOH updated the list, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so Ministry of Health has actually cleared mRNA vaccines for those with a history of allergic reactions after careful study of data globally and locally.
Right.
Yeah, but it's via private healthcare institutions. The police are investigating an incident. And I'm sure many of you would have watched the video already. There was racist remarks made to an interracial couple by a very racist man. So racism is quite a touchy subject. I know many of you are thinking, why are 4 Chinese people talking about it? But it wasn't a right thing, and it's definitely not a right thing for us to ignore it.
You know what I'm surprised about? Like the guy so readily admitted that I'm a racist. And then he said like, and his argument was that you are racist because you are not proud of dating your own race.
You look at the George Floyd thing, right? When they came out with Black Lives Matters, and then there's a community of people that says all life matters, and then the people come out and say, hey, that's not the point. Yes, all life matters. That's like
we know, but that's not
that's
what the
given,
movement is
but that's
about.
not what this movement is.
Yeah.
The movement is that this is a group of people that have been subjected to prejudice, slavery, housed in parts of the city that is trying to trap them and keep them inside those containment zones. Yeah, this movement is about.
So don't steal their spotlight lah.
Don't shove your thing inside lah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, like I think she mentioned also like you want to share about like your response when it came to the whole Black Lives Matter movement.
Right. Okay. So actually, I feel like that was kind of the moment where I kind of recognized my privilege and like start to like unlearn like racism that had built up from small stuff that my parents would say when I was younger, or like my friends would make jokes and then no one would stand up for like the minority race and all that. So like I feel like I kept seeing people like posting stuff like saying, oh, your silence is complicit. If you are not like posting long ass messages or reposting stuff, then you are racist, you are part of the problem. But to me, like it just kind of sounded like, okay, I repost this story, but I don't understand like any part of it. Like to me, it felt like you never get into this school, but that's just because you never work hard enough. Then how is that my privilege or whatever? But clearly I have been educated. So end up I just I feel like thankfully I had a close friend that was willing to have the conversation with me and like be patient, like to not like get angry at me when I ask her such stuff lah. So when I asked her about her experience like growing up as an Indian in Singapore and all that, then she was able to share with me like what are the kind of stuff that she go through, like when she was younger, right? People call her terrorist, like people
my lord.
make fun of her name and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, to me, like I never had to face any of that growing up. And I felt like that's where, like in my personal growth, right, that's where I kind of like could contribute to the movement in like so-called getting rid of racism lah, because rather than like having at least one person like myself, right, like grow in that sense. Like versus just posting something and then not doing anything about it.
So like there were multiple incidents that throughout my life, right, that really like wake me up a bit. And it's those conversations with my friends that show me where I was being racist. So it's kind of like unlearning the racism that you were kind of like brought up with, I guess.
I feel like many of this comes in a form, once the Chinese guy speaking, right? Like, so I mean, maybe I don't know anything, right? But I think many of this comes in a form of like taught racism also. Like you learned it from your parents. That is not perhaps outright racist, but are disguising racism, not because they want to disguise it, right? As advice and wisdom, just to keep you safe, keep you alive. So what I see, for example, is that Singaporean Chinese in Singapore, which is which is a privileged bunch because number one is majority. Number two is that access to jobs, we have it better as well. And because of that, it's very easy for Singaporean Chinese to see that narrative of actually Singapore is really about meritocracy. We really work harder, we really get better. What? Like, don't tell me I studied the same PCB paper as you, but I really did better, so why shouldn't I get the better job? And you take all that privilege and superiorness, right? You go to another country where you are not the majority, right? And then all that counts for nothing. You get spat on. You know, people punch you in the face on the street for no reason. I think seeing, like with like what you said, the George Floyd thing, right? And then you seeing, and even COVID-19, where when you see Chinese all around the world that's not living in places where they are the majority gets bullied and shit on, then that to me was a very strong wake-up call. Right. Of what you think was actually meritocracy in Singapore, you bring all your meritocracy, put inside your backside and you go to another country, right? No meritocracy really. You are minority. And sometimes meritocracy don't work if you are minority.
Yeah, and I think like nowadays also I still see like people of the older generation sometimes making certain racist remarks or whatever, but not consciously lah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somebody that I interviewed previously for a project, right? It was a mom and a daughter, and she was actually sharing about how her daughter was the person that taught her that she's racist. Yeah, which was damn sweet. It was damn sweet. And it really and showed me something. And showed me that like your children can also, you as a child can also teach your parents something. Yeah.
I think a lot of people always question like, do you have to be part of that community in order to talk about issues for that community? And I feel like if you look historically, unfortunately, that is just the way that in order for you to affect change, there needs to be allies within that majority group, whether it was civil rights in the US, whether it was to get women voting rights in America and things like that. There needed to be people in the majority race talking about it, because that's equally as important. As long as we don't take the limelight away or the spotlight away from minority voices. It was unfortunate that the couple had to go through that. Hopefully, seeing it on the news, seeing that police are investigating these things on the newspaper will help older generations know that this wasn't the right thing to do. And hopefully that starts a conversation so that maybe they can ask their kids, why was this wrong? You know, or maybe it's a chance for kids to start that conversation with their parents as well.
Okay, but sorry, just to bring it back to this incident, right?
Sure.
Can I just say, right, I'm damn impressed with the guy. Like, the guy, the Dave, is that his name?
The guy that...
Yeah, Dave. The guy that
the couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I cannot confronted on the street, right, randomly by some uncle, right, I don't know what to do with it. Like, I will freeze up.
My first instinct won't be take out camera.
Yeah, he had the composure to like, let's go and start recording.
And let's have a conversation here. Like, you want to talk, right? Let's talk, you know? Like,
but you also can tell that that guy he wants to engage him. Yeah. But he was also so thrown off, like, oh my god, how can you still be talking like that today?
Yeah. If it was me, right, usually if it's a situation like that, right, I will freeze in the moment. Then I'll be very heated and like, you know, you like...
Then you start shouting vulgarities that don't make sense.
Adrenaline, right? But then you like frozen, right? Then like over the course of the next 5 days to
you start thinking what you should have said.
That would have been a sick line, you know.
Perfect.
I should say that, damn it. Yeah, so smooth. But at that point, like
you start war playing. Then he say this, then I say this.
You then
Meanwhile, the guy don't even know you anymore. He forget about you.
Yeah, damn sad. Yeah. He lived with his friends already.
Yeah, I have 1 million these things in my head,
In other news, Carousel has suspended a keyboard warrior who made rude remarks towards a buyer on the platform. So he basically scolded his mom.
Oh, that dude!
Yeah.
Oh, good on you, Carousel.
He said that he his mom last night or some shit like that.
But then the guy went to confront him, no man.
Yeah. So after that, the buyer created another account, like a fake account, to meet the guy and then confronted him with a video. And then the guy...
I'm torn about this. I'm not sure whether what he did was right as well.
As in, was he doxing the guy though? I feel like my maximum, right, is just I send him to the wrong address. I pretend I want to buy something to the wrong address, but that's my maximum.
But there's so little satisfaction in that.
See it happen.
Yeah.
But that's so mean. Why would you want to do that?
Send the person to the wrong address.
Send the person to the wrong address is like kind of inconvenience him, but it's not like blowing it up such that everyone's doxing him on the internet.
What if he got no legs? You're the mean one.
I cannot talk to you. I cannot talk to you from this point on.
If you're a young kid and you're trying to like play like fluff your feathers online or something, right? You should kena.
So it's good that he learned his
You
lesson.
must walk the talk.
Yeah, it's a shitty thing, but I think once in a while, this kind of things need to happen.
It serves
to
as a
remind
deterrent.
everybody.
Yeah, it should be a deterrent because Carousel experiences do exist.
How to not get punched in the face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one updates that book. But this guy, some Once in a while, some do update their book, how to get punched in the face. My experience with Carousel is amazing.
Really?
I first time used Carousel last week.
Huh?
Okay lah, that's why it's amazing lah.
Carousel is amazing, eh.
No, it is.
Yeah, I freaking love Carousel. I'm on Carousel like almost every day.
Wow.
I've used it a fair bit of time, but I kena one where I was selling something.
You got scammed ah?
You here first, then you want to decide.
Just create his own segment for him.
You don't need to know these details. He basically agreed a time and date and a price. The night before we were supposed to meet, so he said like this MRT station, 1 p.m. I said okay. It was near my house, so I walked. It was a half an hour walk lah. So I walk in the scorching sun. I'm sweating balls. I'm like wet already, right? And then I'm just waiting there. And then I started texting him like, hey dude, I'm wearing this and that. Waiting near the MRT controller. You should always go out of the MRT. Don't do the over railing thing. And so I was there already, 1 p.m. sharp. I texted him and I said, hey dude, where you at?
Yeah.
And then I text again 5 minutes later. And then I text again 10 minutes later. And by 15 minutes, I was still there hopeful that this guy is a good person. He just ghosted me. So yeah.
That's okay, you didn't get scammed lah.
No, but I wrote really rude remarks and I had to walk for half an hour in the scorching sun.
Right.
But then did he reply to your scolding though?
Not at all.
To be honest, right, when I listed a second hand phone that I wanted to sell, right, then people text me their offers, right, I replied them 4 days later because I didn't get a notification.
No, but you...
So what I should have done is gotten his handphone number.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. But you know what's the worst part also? So I remember very clearly he said, this MRT station 1 p.m. Then after I went there, right, he deleted that message. So I cannot screenshot. I cannot screenshot and say that a time and day has been set already.
It's Denise! He sent you to a wrong location and ghost you!
Oh my god, what did I do to you?
Actually, I want to ask you all got any tips and tricks, right, to like get discount on Carousel? Like you talk to people, they try to like
lowball
bring the price down.
I kena
Not
something
lowball
damn
lah, not
sad
lowball lah,
recently.
but bring down the price.
The guy listed something for $160. I asked him 140 can. Then I say there's this other seller that is listing it for a lower price with warranty.
Buy from the guy ah.
Yeah, exactly. He said.
That's what I would say.
I was going to say yes until you mentioned the other seller. I was like, how do you? What's the situation here? I completely don't understand. Then I just tell him, okay.
Who is this?
No, but why don't you just buy from that guy?
Then you ask that guy for the $15 discount.
They will be even cheaper.
No, but he was selling it more expensive than the warranty guy. So I asked him, why not sell me cheaper because the other one got.
Alright, no, why didn't you buy?
Yeah, why don't you buy the
I
warranty
felt
one?
like I didn't need the warranty.
But you
if
ask
his
the
price
warranty
really
guy
lower-
to be cheaper, then it would have been even
No, the
cheaper.
warranty guy is already cheaper what?
Yeah, but you can ask him for even cheaper, then it will be even cheaper than the
Yeah,
original
I
guy.
wanted the even cheaper.
So then she can go back to the warranty guy and say, hey, this guy is selling me for this price.
Okay, my trick right is I always like the moment I want something right, it's like on the spot. Can I meet you today? Like fast game. Then like fast game right, okay, cheaper. Yeah. Then usually can slash off like $50, $30.
I think that's true. Like as a frequent seller on Carousel, I have been more inclined to say yes to like $10 discount if someone say I come over to your house now. Fast deal.
Yeah.
No, but coming over to your house is a different thing. Like you're saving transport, right?
But no, I can also walk lah to the MRT station.
But the last time.
But the last time I've been burned. I've been burned before.
Wait, actually I got a bargaining story quite funny. So right, I was in Bali, okay? And you know when you're in Bali, you need to buy the Bali singlet, right?
The bintang beer one lah.
The Bintang beer one. So I go there, then I just randomly walk into this shop along the street, right? Then I look around all the t-shirt. You know, it's the typical tourist trap lah. So I see the singlet, then I ask her how much. Then she say, I don't know how many baht or what lah, but it's like basically
a lot
it's
one
not
lah.
baht,
They do use
right?
baht?
No, it's
Malaysia.
but
Yeah,
basically
rupiah.
it's like $4 Singapore already. So it's already that cheap for singlet, right? Then I go and bargain. I said no lah, half. Then I bargain until like she died there don't want to give me half ma. Then like which is $2 lah. Then I walk away. Then I cross the street and she screamed at me, like angry. Okay, I come back here. $2. Then I walk back. I so paiseh. Then I walk back. There's someone I pay for fun, right? You know.
Then you give $4.
I walk back. Then she look at me angrily, shove the thing to the plastic bag, give to me. Then take out the money, pay her. Then I walk away. Then awkward, sia.
You all got hear about the plastic bag technique?
What's the plastic bag technique?
So apparently like all the shops right in a particular place like Bali or Phuket right, they all pack up together. So they will give a particular colour of plastic bag if they know that this person don't know how to bargain. So like they'll give you a black plastic bag so that the other shop will see right, oh this guy got black plastic bag, okay he don't know how to bargain, and then they will obviously like charge very high.
That's why we should bring our own bags, kids.
So to round this all up, be a bit more aware lah when someone's trying to scam you, and
Don't be
this is
them.
coming from me, okay?
Ask
So-
yourself, what would Dan do? And then don't do it.
And if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So don't get scammed, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Wear mask.
sell online and grow your business with Wix e-commerce. Create a beautiful storefront for your brand by customizing product pages, galleries, cart, and checkout. Then let shoppers pay however they like. Reach new shoppers on social media and marketplaces and engage existing customers with subscriptions, gift cards, and loyalty programs. Set up automated abandoned cart recovery to entice customers to complete their purchase. Fulfill orders and manage inventory from a single dashboard for all sales channels. Make insightful business decisions based on detailed traffic, sales, and revenue reports. Run high-performing marketing campaigns with built-in Facebook and Instagram ads that reach the right shoppers. Go to Wix e-commerce.
Necessary shit like that carbon that we produce traveling to work to save the planet.
Yep.
You know, like going to this place to save the people.
AIs wouldn't govern us because we are so inefficient, they would just get rid of us.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Terminators.
Unless they need us to like still function. No, but I wanted to say that it's very strange because 100 years ago, I tried to search for it, but I can't find it. There was a philosopher or like futurist 100 years ago that said that it will be so automated, right, that humans will be bored not having enough things to do.
Yeah,
and he was so wrong because we are now more stressed and worked and burnt out than ever.
Yeah.
Wrong. How did we go from 4-day week to we're never going to work again?
That's called a slippery slope argument.
To be fair, I don't know who is it that told me, right? But I remember my first day of work, my proper first day of work, right? Someone told me don't be the first one to go home.
I agree. Don't be the first one to go home.
Yeah. Or I think it was like don't go home before your boss. I think was the advice. But I also don't know why. I think it's the perception that you're not a lazy worker.
But once again, we are looking at it quite simplistically. But there are many, many attributes. If let's say there's a new person that come in, whoever or not, maybe their tasks are simple by virtue of they are incompetent. Like it's not a task that I will hand off to that person because that person is not that good yet. Right? So I spend a lot of time training that person. I spend a lot of time correcting the person. Whenever the person is done, the person needs to send it to me for me to edit, and I spend a lot of time editing. I'm not just like doing 2 tweaks. So for me, when I do that for you, right, and then requires me to finish my work at 8 o'clock because I spent a lot of time doing this for you, and then at 6 o'clock you stand up and leave, I can see why people will feel
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. No, but I think it's like you don't have to be staying all the way even though you have nothing to do. For example, like if I'm working on a video and editor is staying until 8, I will stay with that editor even though I got nothing else to do. Like it's just part of that courtesy. So I think if someone else is doing work for you, like you are fixing someone's deck, and they leave, then that's their own like etiquette, lack of etiquette. I don't think it's
So can leave, right? But I always tell all the new people, ask your team whether you need help.
Yeah.
That's the pro tip if you're thinking whether you want to leave or not. So if you want to leave at 6 o'clock, by 6 o'clock say you're done, ask whether anybody needs help. If not, you're going to make a move, then make a move. Or start telling your colleagues early at 5 o'clock, say, later at 6:30, I got.
Later I gotta go for my
No, don't say you gotta go. Just tell them you got something on that you're quite nervous for. For example, I'm meeting my boyfriend's parents.
Yeah. No, but I must say that. So there was one time, right? Like, cause so work starts here at 9 and it ends at 6 lah. And I remember that I needed to leave.
It starts at 10
Okay, I'm always late lah. I'm always late. But anyway, there was one time that I needed to leave the office at like 5 or something. I remember, and I said, "Hey, John, I'm gonna come here at 8," and I really came at 8. And even though I remembered fulfilling my hours more than usual, cause I actually came at 8.
This guy.
I left at 5 and I felt guilty about it. I felt damn sad, and then everyone was like looking, "Hey, wow, you're leaving so early."
Here
I mean, like no one said that lah. Their eyes were saying it lah.
Here lah.
Yeah,
just you were interpreting that.
I was interpreting that.
So here got horticulture lah.
No, but it's just cause I had to leave early. It's not like leaving at 6. I didn't leave at 6 is fine. But just cause I leave at 5, but my own conscience is clear. But I came super early then compared to anyone.
I mean, it's not that clear lah.
No. So that's the thing. So then I was contemplating myself, how can I subtly without flexing on the group chat, you know? Yeah. So then I'll be like, at 8 a.m. maybe should I text like,
good morning guys.
Yeah, you know, good morning guys, here in the office early or whatever. Or like, hey, can someone help me open the gate? Even though there's no one here. You know, like how do I show that flex, right? I'm like, wow, in the end, like, I didn't text anything. I was just like...
Then you get your friend to reply, hey, you're so early today and then...
Yeah, no, so I remembered what I ended up doing was that when I left at 5 and everyone, like, one person looked at me, then I was talking to that person, but I said it very loudly. I think it was like Jared or something. I said, "Oh, I came at 8." Or something like that, but so everyone could hear, and then I just left.
Yeah. I think Like back in my previous company also, like there was something that I saw a lot of, and I'm also guilty of it as well, which now when I look back is like it's a very toxic behavior, and it's this OT culture,
Like glorifying OT.
yeah, glorifying OT, like posting about it, sharing report, like even just like you know, I work damn hard, yeah. I stay until like 12 a.m. for my company. Next
Hustle porn.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Work until you die.
No, yeah.
Which is a very
Wait, do people post like as a flex, like, hi everybody, look at me, it's 12 a.m. and I'm still working?
I used to say like
It's a subtle flex lah. You sound like you're complaining, but actually you're flexing.
So in my old company, right, what people do is that if like, you stayed until 12 a.m. doing a day or 2 a.m., right, you just say I'm coming in at 11 a.m. the next day. But I would take a lot of pride to say, hey guys, I'm leaving the office now, my time is 2 a.m., I'm coming in at 11 tomorrow. And then I'll be like, yes, people know I work late.
And I feel like this whole problem, right, is like
I received that text before.
is it? But there are two key motivations to that, which involve the both of you. If we use the example, right, it's either you have very bad time management on your own, or you have a bad manager.
As in that he have to stay so late to finish his work lah.
Yeah. So it's poor management. So it's like if you are somebody who experiences this or does this, right, then you need to look at these two areas and see what is causing you to OT like a dog.
Last time we OT like a dog, but to be honest, in the daytime we were super unproductive.
No, really, it's like we only start working at 5 p.m. Like that was our most productive time. Or like I think it was the company culture, because it was not weird for everyone to start saying, hey, you want to buy dinner, we all go buy dinner. We come back at 9 p.m. and we start working.
Yeah.
Oh.
So even though it feels like, wow, we all work until 2, right?
No, but what
We
were y'all
had
doing
dinner
in
from
the day?
6 to 9, you know?
Yeah.
Then the meetings are very disjointed because the company is slightly unfocused, right? Or rather, not
At that
unfocused,
time,
very ambitious.
Yeah.
Not unfocused, very ambitious. Yeah, then you just keep showing up, but actually you don't really do much work, man. Only at 6 o'clock, then you realize something is due tomorrow. Yeah. So you will say, okay, I need to go and do. Then some guy from another business division will say, dinner?
Yeah.
There is snowballs.
Then we feel like, damn hustle, damn sleepy already. Then we work until like 10:30. Then we feel like, I work until 9 to 10:30, 13 hours already leh. I'm gonna go home. But you work 3 hours only.
But what if you're really just like somebody that can be productive at night? Will you be able to facilitate for something like that? You know what I mean?
I think it depends on the type of work that you do.
Yeah.
If it's very task-based and like you can deliver it the next day, it's just a finished product base rather than having to communicate with anyone. Yeah, that's usually fine.
I wonder whether Singapore actually has that strong of a OT culture versus like say Japan. It's like if your boss don't leave, you don't leave, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think in Singapore there's still many companies that boss don't leave, you don't leave.
You look at everyone's first day at work, they always stay until 7 just waiting, making sure that they are the last ones to leave.
All the news
turn
already, like you see them with their laptop in their bag.
They are doing nothing. Nothing to do with it.
So in the morning, we actually tell them one is in our kit then to tell them 6 o'clock you got nothing much, go home. Like we tell them in the morning first, but they will still wait to 6:20, 6:30.
No, but I feel like I'm curious whether how much of the work from home culture will continue beyond this. Like I wonder whether like once we work from home is no longer the default, right? Will everybody move back to office? Like is that the plan?
I remember some company already announced that
Twitter, I think, full work from home.
Like
you don't have to come back after this whole thing.
From my friends at the MNCs, what they're doing is that quite a lot of them are actually ending their lease on a lot of buildings, and what they're doing is that they are renting from like WeWork or like just co-working spaces if you need to come into the office, and then they will like instead of having 5 floors, they will just keep like 1 or 2 floors for hot desking.
Right.
So then you come in like 2 days a week, and then you schedule it. Yeah. So it actually saves the company a lot of rent actually.
Actually, I think there's something that they mentioned in the Iceland article, so that they save electricity bill, they like save a lot of money from 4-day work week.
Would you all want
A 4-day work week?
no, a forever work from home situation?
I don't know. I'm on the fence about this.
I'm also on the fence about it.
I think if we have a fixed place where we can meet for meetings, but then like not completely like virtual, but
because something's gotta give, you know, in the company gotta earn something from this. Yeah. So what the company can earn is to drop rent.
Yeah. You get to rent a smaller space, maybe just 2 meeting rooms.
Don't want to rent space.
Just this year.
Come my house, I haven't talked to me. Come my house. I go your house.
And then just rent a studio, like you don't need to pay rent every week.
And then when nobody's shooting, then you rent out the studio.
No, don't own the studio.
Yeah, just rent everything.
Don't even buy camera.
Just rent.
I feel like for me it works a lot better when I'm like scripting or I'm doing very specific, like I need to focus stuff. Working from home is a lot better. Like when I'm in the office, I'm a lot more distracted. But then when we are like bouncing ideas and all that kind of stuff, clearly meeting in person is better. So I'm
But can a phone call solve that?
Phone call different though, I feel like it just doesn't match the
same
in-person,
I was researching on this also. Like there are these Zoom calls, right, that you can join, and it's just a bunch of people working with the camera on. and then it kind of keeps you in check, and then also lets you like.
There's the whole YouTube study with me thing, right?
Oh, is it? No, but the study with me is you are just watching somebody do work and then you just do.
Yeah.
But this one is you are in this group chat. Everybody is like there to work. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Then would it not be the same if the company just 9 a.m. start a video chat and then
I mean, it would be the same.
No, but then everybody will complain. Say why my boss don't trust me.
Micromanaging.
But then right, if you don't do it, people won't go and find a live stream to join.
TikTok
time.
So the next challenge is called 3 times speed challenge. Do you guys know?
No.
Explain. You have to do everything slow-mo, right? And then like it must look normal in.
Got it. Okay.
Are we talking or are we doing stuff?
Then we have to do something.
It's got to go 3 times. You got to film 3 times slower than normal.
Don't like that.
Don't like that. Bless you.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the conversation that we just had. And if you do, please remember to drop us a sub. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. And thanks for the cookies.
Yay.
And other stuff.
Yeet.
I think if I really want to treat myself, I'll book myself a massage, which is about like $60 to $70.
My tax. I spend mostly on pet food, pet treats, pet toys.
I usually shop online for carpentry tools.
So hiring is really like dating.
It really is. It really is. But quite one-sided dating in that sense. It's like interviewing a sugar baby. Really.
What makes a workplace toxic? This is your daily catch-up. Hey guys, if you're liking the content so far on the channel, remember to subscribe and even drop us a like. It really helps. So there's this new IG page, right, called we'll flash it up, and we tried a post by someone who basically shared why they quit their full-time job as an architect.
Right.
There were a lot of different reasons. Some of it was that not enough guidance, and so like they felt like their superiors were way too busy for them. They were no longer enjoying what they were doing. But one thing that kind of stood out was that it was taking a toll on not just their physical health but their mental health as well, because like it was a very high and like demanding workload, and they were OTing a lot. And then they didn't feel like they were being well compensated for like all that lah. Which kind of brings into the topic of like toxic workplaces in that sense. And it might seem very subtle because whatever example that I just gave you can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
But it can build up and it can like create a lot of stresses or anxiety for like someone lah.
For me, having this conversation.
No, so I think this article was on this posting was quite interesting to me, right? Because I have quite a few friends in this industry as well, and they work until like whole day, whole night kind. I've spoken to them before, and we talk about like trying to find work-life balance, that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
But then the more I understand, right, the more it's just that is the way their industry is. Yeah, and a lot is expected of architects, and it's very scary doing architecture because design really, right? You kill people, no? Yeah.
So that just occurred to me.
A lot's on the line, yeah.
There's just no escaping it all. So I'm wondering, like, what is wrong, or why would people even choose to join this industry then?
No, I just feel like I think in every job there's always that dream, that best case scenario, and then there's a reality. Like I think to be an architect, you start seeing amazing buildings and you go, on one day I want to build a skyscraper.
Yeah.
It's the same as being a vet, right? Most of them start off as animal lovers. They love animals. 90% of the time is putting down animals, and then it's just like, what the
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, yeah.
So like the illusion of the job like doesn't match that initial dream. I feel like.
My initial thought was that it's so interesting that mental health is such a big consideration in whether or not you move between jobs and all that. Like, I feel like last time this is not a thing. Like nowadays people will say I need to take a mental health break. And they take like a 1 week break, that kind of thing. But last time this thing doesn't exist.
No, plus I feel like now workers now are so entitled to be like asking things of their companies now, which I think is a good like progression lah. But I can't imagine my dad like in the 70s like desperate for a job so he can earn money to support his family to be like, I demand that you give me purpose in life, you know, that kind of things. Like I just need money.
Yeah. Actually, that's interesting. Like we are relying on work for purpose of life also, which is something that John always talks about. So
to not do.
Yeah, to not
do. Which
many people do. Like work is where they find a lot of joy, and I think like for myself also included.
So speaking of like toxic workplaces, right? There was also a recent IG post that I think was it was a DM that was shared by a film director in Singapore, and talking about how like productions in Singapore in particular is so like unhealthy, or like production assistants, assistant directors, like, they are so unfairly treated. So like an example that they kind of talked about was that in all these productions, they tend to hire a lot of interns to save costs. But then when you hire interns who are brand new and are not normally on sets, right, they're obviously going to make mistakes. Yeah, they're going to make mistakes, and then the bosses will start to blame them for everything just like falling apart. But they are new in the first place, and so like the blame game just keeps pushing around, even though it was like their fault to begin with.
I've heard of like horror stories from the production world, so like the legit production world where there's a bunch of hierarchy and that kind of thing.
Are we very not legit?
You cannot. No, it's very different. Like it's very different. Yeah.
Traditional lah.
The traditional production houses. Then right, it's like you cannot talk to the director. You cannot talk to the people like above you to really follow the hierarchy. Then if you talk to them, right, they will ignore you, or you will tiokan, right?
Yeah.
Then your whole chain of command will also tiokan.
Wow.
And all of them have to go through a similar type of progression in order to slowly make your way up until eventually you can do something that you want to do. It never makes sense to me that I need to go through that ladder to become a director. And I've seen other people do it different ways now. There are other ways to get there. Yeah. So it didn't make sense. It has never made sense to me. Like, why would I go and put myself through that shit?
But do you think like having a flat management structure is better? Like say for example us, like clearly he's the boss, so he's sitting here with us, he's basically our friend also, right? So and then
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, so it brings into question like with the fact that those are traditional production houses, and with the architectural industry being somewhat like older in terms of structure now, right? When I saw that post and I read the comments, right, a lot of them are saying the same things and they're agreeing with her also. So if it's a common issue already, then should some authority, or should they themselves be trying to look at it and trying to change it, because it seems like an unhealthy industry and an unhealthy environment to work in.
Like, do you think it's like the architectural company's fault? Based on the rent there, I feel like, okay, the excess OT is wrong, right? Because you are being paid for this amount of hours, but then being asked to work longer than these hours, I feel like that portion is wrong. But the fact that, for example, if your mentors did not have enough time to teach you, don't you feel like that is not the company's fault?
You never asked lah. You never.
It's not that I never asked. I feel like you are being hired because we need good minds on a certain project. I need you to come in and help me. This is not a school.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You come in to help me. Yeah, and I didn't have time to teach you. I need you to be able to learn on your own. And if you feel like this is a place that you cannot learn as much as you want to,
then it's on you to
change.
Yeah. So actually speaking on change, right? You came across an article that's quite interesting.
my friend actually sent it to me earlier today, just nice. So it talks about how do you know when it's time for a change, right? Like how do I know like whether I'm actually stagnating or it's just my feelings are fickle. I'm just not feeling as excited about the job as like when my first month. Right, so then they talked about how there was this tweet that was asking people about what was your career's like biggest mistake, and most of the people actually replied saying that they didn't leave the company earlier, like they stayed at the same place for too long. So the article is titled "How to Waste Your Career One Comfortable Year at a Time."
Right.
Yeah, and then it talks about like basically like to keep that like hustle to want to push yourself to make yourself uncomfortable, and then like be in that spot where you are learning things. And then he has this framework, right, that talks about how you can evaluate. So 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So
Oh, they didn't number it. What a lazy article.
point form, yeah. So 1 is accomplishment. Have you done anything noteworthy these last 3 months?
Wow, 3 months I also never say me.
No, it can be a no. So it becomes a table, then you tabulate, and then you see like the percentage. So if like these 5 things, each thing is 20%.
Right.
So then if you are 60%, right, then it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
1 second is impact. Would I write a line in my resume about the work that you've done in these past 3 months?
Right.
Which means, is this like something that is valuable work experience that you're gaining, right? Number 3, growth/future alignment. Have I acquired valuable skills that are aligned with my future goals? Right. So if I know in future I want to say be a film director, then am I
No future goal there.
working my way?
I cannot answer that question because I don't have future goal.
But you,
Concern for you though.
yeah.
Yes. How sad is it? I mean, I have a goal for this company, but I have no growth plan in this company. You know what I'm saying? I cannot promote myself really.
Feels like a call for help.
I really don't know what I want.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, please move on. Then,
So number 4 is challenge. Have there been days where you were thinking about like a work problem in the shower so profoundly that I forgot if I use soap or not? So basically, is your work challenging you lah? Or you feel
Right.
like you're very comfortable in your work day by day pass, like okay lor. Yeah, last one, community. Am I excited and happy to go to work every morning and see my teammates? Do I believe in the mission, vision, and leadership of
no,
this?
okay. Honestly, I actually means secure. He's like shaking his head on everybody.
Oh no! Next episode, you're not here.
The final catch up.
Oh no, no one can even do the intro there.
You know, I can't say daily catch up like you. I really can't. I try at home.
I think it's very interesting that he managed to structure it and break down what people find in a job, right? And what essentially creates job satisfaction. And then he uses this as the metric to help people.
Wait, sorry, but change also doesn't mean to quit.
Yeah.
It can just be like you change
Talk to your boss and
talk
ask
to your
for
boss.
the
Yeah, correct.
position or take on more things.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's something that the younger generation also, like when things are broken, we throw away instead of fix.
Yeah, or run away from problems.
That's true.
And I feel like some people, I mean,
It's like hopeless, no job.
without this, right, I think some people will hone in on one problem, one aspect that they're not satisfied with, and then
They
because
give
of
up
that,
the
right, they give up the rest.
The 80-20 rule.
Yeah. Correct.
So which is really 80-20 because 20% weightage. Okay, sorry.
So elegant.
So then you 60%.
60.
Yeah, okay.
No lah, it's just cause the achievement like 3 months is like too short a gap.
But what is an achievement though?
That's
Like,
right.
for example,
Yeah.
is leading a department still an achievement for you?
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
But to other people, that's an achievement.
Maybe there's something that you've done that gave you like a sense of accomplishment.
So right, I fixed my plumbing like last week, right, and I felt like a plumber.
Yeah.
And wow, I was
That's
like,
your dream.
I started fixing everything else in the house. Yeah, it was like wow, some things I actually spoiled, but it was fine.
He has this fake plant. I went to his house for the first time yesterday. He has this fake plant that looks like it's dying.
Huh?
I don't know how do you even achieve that. It looks,
That's a true
the plant just looks 30% dehydrated. But it's a fake plant that looks 30% dehydrated.
So basically, the dyingness of that fake plant looks realistic. That's how realistic it is.
That means it's amazing. It's a very good product. Or it could be
Exactly.
real, for example, and it's just absorbing moisture off the air quite. So there are many times in my career in trying to be boss. It's very strange, okay, to try and be boss. Last time I will make it, like, I made effort to say don't call me boss, Cause like to me it's like this is what I wanted to do. There's no other company that wanted to do it the way I want to do it, so I start my own company. You want to help me, I pay you this amount. It always felt like a team effort thing. Then I realized expectation actually is not like this. There was a period where my HR was a mess, like my HR skill was a mess. And there were 2 things I got away from it. The first one is that be transparent no matter what. Because I had times whereby I was trying to shield certain things from colleague Y and X also so that they don't beat themselves up, because some people have a tendency to beat themselves up a lot. After that comes back to haunt me in feedback that I did not give. Because out of kindness, I thought it was out of kindness, but it was not kindness. Out of what I thought was kindness, that I did not give you the truth as it is. Yeah, at the end of the day, client dropped us. And we needed, by then, livelihood at stake. Someone needs to be accountable so that this does not happen again. So when we have that conversation, it feels new. So my number 1 thing is tell it as it is. Like most people in life are not gonna be your friends. Only a small portion will be your friend. So those that are not your friends may not like you. Your friends may not like you. That's up to you to figure out and accept. Don't try and please everybody. Remind yourself you're running a business. That's what I do. That is principle number 1. Principle number 2.
I got to unpack on that one. But yeah.
Wait, so number 1 is your friends may not like you.
No, it's transparency.
Be honest.
Yeah. Just lay the truth as it is, right?
I got it.
The second one was that, well, it's gonna sound very brutal, Sam Carol. If it's not right, fire is at.
It's okay, it's like, as in to me that sounded like if you meet somebody that you want to date, right? You know you're not right. Then if you don't break up, then you're just wasting each other's time, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same, like it sounds the same to me in this situation.
It's a great way to think about it.
You know you're wasting everyone's time.
Yeah, so I had also experiences whereby, especially during our earlier years, where we cannot even pay, let's say, a industry salary for this expectation, right? So you are the most senior person in this department, hence I made you lead this department at an agreed upon salary lah, right? But then there are times where you fall short because, to be honest, you are not this level yet.
Right.
Right? And so when you're not cutting it, I can choose to groom you since you decide to agree with my salary package, which was all we could afford back then, or I can swap you out and let you go. And there were far too many people than I liked where I thought I was once again doing a kindness to say, how about we help you get there?
When you talk about like if there's no fit, like fire except, I think it doesn't always have to be like that example. It could just be there's just a culture, like no fit culturally, or like vibe just doesn't check. I think if you don't like it's really hard to explain that, but it's really important because if there's no good work chemistry, right, and like you let it go on for too long, like it will affect morale, it will affect productivity. It's just not healthy after a long time.
So hiring is really a dating.
It really is. It really is. But quite one-sided dating in a sense. It's like interviewing a sugar baby. Really, day 1 the sugar baby is looking for money, correct? But week 3, month 5, the sugar baby is no longer looking for just money. You know what I mean? On the day 1 of arrangement, right, is that sugar daddy looking for companionship, right?
Wait, this analogy.
No, it works out.
Let him get there.
Yeah, and said sugar baby is looking for money, right?
Go on.
But sugar baby 5 months later,
Catch feels.
more time. Catch feels. Wants house. Knows of another sugar baby, jealous. Then after a while you start paying and you don't know what you're paying for. You're like, you're maintaining problems. You know what I'm saying? You continue paying sugar baby.
We can just let go.
Then it's like, hey, if I wanted this, I can stay with my wife.
Wait, this whole analogy is confusing.
It's all wrong, really. It's all wrong. What's going on?
Wow, fits.
It doesn't.
Force the foot into the shoe.
Okay, so like I think personally, right, I've been toxic in my work environment before, right? And it's something like somebody not happy about something that somebody else did, and then you all start to bitch about it. It's very similar. It's usually a bitch sesh or whatever. Then sometimes you hear a different circle of bitching about another problem. In my head, I always think like, oh, you're like toxic, yeah. You're gossiping, you're saying that stuff shit. Then I look at them like, if you're not happy, quit lah, right? If you're not happy, leave. Then after a while, then I start to realize, oh shit, I'm in the same situation.
Yeah.
If I'm not happy, quit. Why am I not leaving yet, right? Then I started to process this, and it made me realize like, if you're really not happy in your environment, then quit. And if you're and if you still want to stay for whatever other reasons, right, then you have to deal with that shit yourself.
No, I don't think you have to deal with it. I don't think the answer is suck it up.
No, I know. You try to address it and you try to fix it. But if it cannot be fixed, then you need to accept that this is something that you have to live with because of all the other reasons why you want to stay. Yeah, lor. But you don't go and continue bitching about it. And I also think that people need to be very sensitive and careful to who is hearing what you are saying.
Yeah.
So sometimes like there will be people that say negative stuff in front of like new hires or new interns. Yeah, wow, that one is the worst. Yeah.
I agree.
Then you suddenly spreading this like weird attitude, or even the way you talk about other people in front of them and that sort of thing, right? And also because like all my experiences has been with like smaller companies, right? I do feel like there is no proper HR structure to kind of nip these things in the bud, or whether there are techniques like that actually exist. I also don't know. Okay, I think in larger organizations, it's very hard to trust the people that you're going to go and tell these things to, because who is paying the HR team?
Because they're snakes.
Yeah. It's the boss also, right? Then you also don't know where this is going to spread. They end up going to to some other boss that's in charge of you, then you cannot one time. Or you cannot let go because we just don't feel you aligned with this organization's vision or whatever shit that you now need to find a new job. Then you scared to say so, you just don't say. Then you suck it up, which then because you cannot tahan, you need to let it out, right? Then you go to your friend, then the fellow intern, hey blah blah blah. Then
but that's how you make fast friends though. Like
Gossip.
you make fast friends with strangers when
Common
you're
enemy.
a common enemy.
So my first day of internship, right, at my previous company, I remember this girl coming up to me, and then the first thing she said to me, because we have a mutual friend, she was like, hey, so and so damn irritating, blah blah blah. Then that was like her in with me, like to. Like, I'm the one person she knows through this mutual friend, and then she used that to leverage.
But did you instantly feel like, oh, toit?
No, I instantly like, oh, I would not want to be friends with this person. Because if to a stranger, right, me, you can go and say this kind of thing, right, and that they are quite close. What she gonna say about me behind my back, you know?
I don't know whether all this story should go or not. I feel really bad talking about it. But I feel like the period or the audience where entrepreneurs can share this kind of things, right, is usually at points where you're talking to other entrepreneurs, so you help them to avoid these pitfalls.
Right.
Yeah, or like so you can learn from my mistakes. Yeah, but the wider audience that actually needs to hear this, right?
Yeah.
I was being called a micromanager. That one really bothered me.
Why?
If it really bothers you, it means it's true lah.
Because he like you yourself don't like micromanagers.
No, not that. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say it's you, okay? Let's say it's you.
Then
I ask you to lead a position of which you're quite lost and we're not yielding much results. Right? And so I asked, perhaps you try this, perhaps you try this. Then you're like, there are a lot of things didn't work. The things that I let you try on your own didn't work. So when you show it to me, right, then I give you feedback. Next time you should do this. At the end of the day, number one, I could have said fire you because you're not good enough for the job. Yeah. Or I can help you do your job better. Right? So that you feel useful, so that at the end of the year we can talk about, is there an accomplishment for you? Yes. Do you receive a bonus and incentive? Yes, because you did the work. Like even though it came from me, but you did the work. I don't want to pay you and do your work for you, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a damn shit feeling, So but that was what I was doing for a good half a year, for some, and then after that I'm being called a micromanager. Then it really broke my heart, that one. Cause I felt like I should have let you go a long f***ing time ago. But it was because of your heart. The fact that we have open communication, you telling me you are lost. I feel like it's not easy for my colleagues to come and tell me that they are lost. Like they don't know what to do, they try everything. Because to me, I feel like you show hand to me. So whenever you show hand to me, right, I always want to see how can I do it differently. Because I want to assure you that I also don't know the answer. It's not like I know the answer and I'm keeping it from you. You're being paid to try everything. Let's talk about what you haven't tried, then go and try. And then bite back to say I'm a micromanager, right? Then that killed me. Then bam, create saga, create turmoil, create undercurrent, create one gossip group. Then I'm like, oh my god, I thought I was helping. I thought you understood where we were coming from because in our chats you seem to. That one really breaks my heart.
This video needs to be company video. Play this episode of the town hall.
Like it just seems like there's been a lot of like examples of toxic like workplaces recently. Like I think Ubisoft Singapore was called out like internationally, right? Because apparently if you're a local, right, and you apply to Ubisoft, right, you apparently have just no chance of rising the ranks to become management because it's a French company and they only want the whole management to be French.
Wait, that's not toxic, but that's racist.
Yeah, but you can imagine, so like what they do, right, is that they say that our company language, right, is English, but then halfway through, right, the management will just start talking to themselves in French, like while it's an official meeting.
Only for the Singapore office?
I don't know, but this was specifically an expose for the Singapore office.
That's an interesting like conversation that Singaporeans are having. Like, if they don't promote the locals to management, one could be the locals not good enough. If it's a pure language thing, it really means the company management is just not forward-looking enough and not recruiting the best person for the job. They are looking for the best French person for the job. That's to the detriment of the company. The company will pay for its own decision. Right. But had this company not come to Singapore, there might be 5,000 people that are software developers or game creators now that won't be software developers or game creators, game designers, which is what like the minister is trying to preach to Singaporeans, that these are certain things that we need to come to accept if we want them to set up a base here. Because otherwise, how will we set up our first gaming company?
But that's like the entitlement that comes with development, right? Like if we were in the 80s and MNC came and many MNCs came, we were just grateful to have a job and be able to learn from whoever came into the country to teach us. But now that we feel like we're on par with every other developed country in the world. We feel like it's almost not fair that we don't get that same opportunity. It's almost that entitlement.
Then start your own.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I always think. If you feel like you can run it better, you can run it your way but be profitable, then set up your own because the world needs you to set up your own.
Anyway, there's this website that JP shared with me. How to identify and address toxic employees.
What are you trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Listen to you.
No, the website that I read the first 3, right? I feel like I can relate. Like it's me, I've done it before. But yeah, so these are the types of toxic employees or colleagues, I guess.
Yeah, let us know which one you identify with.
So the first one is the gossip. Basically, like someone who's always trying to develop friendly relationships, right? And then spread nonsense like your friend lah. So they will start things like, hey, do you hear that this person got a promotion? Then try to make other people feel jealous. Just to stir drama, and be like the social butterfly, try to earn social points from everybody for having the gossip.
So right, if there's somebody like that, and then you and your fellow colleagues who are the not toxic ones, right, identify that, then you all both talk about that person. Are you the toxic one? Have you become the thing you hate the most?
No, I think the rule of thumb is before you talk about it with anyone else, you should talk to that person first.
But what if that person is a bitch?
I think to be classified as the gossip, right? This is internal hate rules lah. I think you need to be gossiping about more than one person. If it's just one person, then it's fair. I think it's a complaint. But once you start talking about 5 people, right, you're a gossiper.
What if you're gossiping about one person over 10 different issues?
Okay, so let's put the time frame also. One person, 2 issues max 1 week. The next one is the yes person. So someone who would say something like, that sounds great if you say so.
Ooh.
Basically someone who always agrees whenever there's meetings or whatever. They are just highly agreeable and they never add to anything. They never add value, they never bring anything to the table.
Why is that toxic? Isn't that just...
Because they are someone who put in
minimal effort.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't phrase that right. They will always be someone who will someone who will always put in the minimal effort to get things done and nothing more. They are someone who won't take initiative. They'll just be like, oh yeah, okay, let's go with that. Just some other examples is the procrastinator. So someone's always lacking motivation, always pushing things to the last minute. The narcissist, so someone who says no one in the company can do what I can do. So I have that power, over everyone else. The grump. Oh, he's almost like a pessimist. Why you things always happen like this all the time? And it's always
this one always
complaining about things. Yeah, the water machine not working, the internet not working, and last but not least, the know-it-all, the sage. So whenever someone tells them something, they cannot accept it. They think that they know better than the other person. They have an answer for everything also.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, right, understanding whether you're happy or unhappy with your job, right, is mostly internal. It's determining what are your priorities, what are you looking for. If you're trying to pursue something that you just have to stay in the company for, right, is that the key thing? And then are you willing to sacrifice the other things along the way, like your pursuit of, for example, settling down, having a family, and all that other stuff, right? If that is what you're willing to sacrifice, then you continue lor. But if it's not, then you need to find something else really. Yeah. Which I think the chart that we brought up earlier was great lah.
I think that was very, very useful.
I think people should go and do this thing and then just
to evaluate. Yeah.
I mean, I will add one more lah. Can I find another job or not?
That's true.
You do that first. Then if really it's negative all the way, right, then you start looking for another job lah.
Yeah.
But at least you understand why you're not happy with your current
Don't quit your job just cause you're not happy. I feel lah.
Yeah, that's why the article ends with change does not mean quit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're in full control of your own circumstances. For the most part.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, communicate with your boss, communicate with your employee, and let's try and make a better place for everybody lah, right?
And for the most part, really, you choose your own environment. So if you're really, really unhappy with your environment, then go and change it.
And check yourself.
Before you wreck yourself.
Wow.
I knew it, you were saying.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you watch, remember to sub and like, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Then I felt like these 3 finger, like claws, right, like scratched down my back. I go and shower.
Jackman was behind you.
I go and shower. I go and see the mirror, right? 3 scratches like down my back.
Is sleep useless? This is your daily catch-up. So research has found, right, that there is a simple trick to use on your brain to help you sleep. And it's specifically, right, when you watch TV before you sleep. Apparently, watching TV before you sleep is very bad for your brain.
They say any screen in general is bad.
Correct. So, one set of researchers basically found a simple trick, right, to overcome that so that you can sleep better even if you watch TV.
What's this trick?
It is to start plotting out, right, your to-do list for the next day.
Oh yeah, confirm for sleep.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, I used to do that, like for reals kind. And it's not so much to get better sleep, but it's more of you cannot sleep because you're very stressed out over tomorrow.
You keep thinking lah, your brain's still working lah.
But then there's nothing you can do now, you're not in office, you're at home
Yeah.
So then you start writing down what you're going to do tomorrow, then it feels like you're done. If like you close your eyes knowing that I've done all that I can do today to optimize for tomorrow.
Wow.
But it was a stress thing.
That sounds like a very tiring life.
Yeah, it was not insomnia thing, it was a too much stress thing.
But is your screen the last thing you look at before you fall asleep?
Yeah.
Why?
It's my
This is you fail.
So like obviously when me and Nat first got together, right, like we would hug, cuddle each other, sleep, look at each other. Then now, right, it's like we both face different direction on our phones, and then we're like, good night.
No, don't kiss.
No lah, kiss lah.
You just text her, okay, I go to sleep. Don't even turn.
So the blue light thing that makes you cannot sleep.
No, but I think it decreases quality of sleep.
Yes.
So much you cannot sleep. But you
Quality
wake
of
up, you still tired, that kind.
Right.
Yeah. So the writing down for the next day, right? I think for you it's like ease of mind, so that you lower your anxiety for the next day. But according to the research, it helps you offload your mind. So it helps you just sleep and you have to spend 10 minutes doing it. Yeah.
But we got nothing much on tomorrow.
Find something to do.
You know, people talk about like sleep hacks, right? Last time it used to be like the most basic one is counting sheep, right? And I realized why they do it. It's because it sounds like sleep. So therefore,
sheep and sleep.
Hypnosis.
Yeah, kind of. So for in Chinese, right, it doesn't work because yang and 睡觉 is completely different words.
But you don't say sheep, right? Or do you
Sorry,
say?
what are you supposed to say when you count sheep?
Yeah.
1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep.
Oh really? I thought you just supposed to imagine.
Yeah, imagine the sheep counting and then I just say 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I always thought it's just you imagine a sheep like jumping over a fence.
Why?
Yeah.
How
Oh,
many
why,
A cartoon did that. Yeah.
Is it Mummy Moo?
I don't know.
But the cloud appear, right?
Yeah.
Then the sheep keep going, right?
Oh my god.
Where is this from? Anybody know? Where is that from?
What the?
My money's on Mummy Moo.
So bringing this back to sleep, yeah. So there's this like 7-8-2 thing. So you breathe in for 7 seconds, you hold it for 8 seconds, and then you breathe out in 2 or something like that.
Hold it for 8
Maybe it's like
seconds.
7 to 8 or something.
Does it work?
Yeah. Basically, you just concentrate breathing, and then your mind will just wander off, and then before you know it, it becomes a dream really.
No, actually, I wanted to ask you all, like, is it easy for you all to sleep?
Now increasingly so.
As I'm getting older, yes.
Right. Do you all like sleep to begin with?
I love sleep.
Why?
It's like rest.
No, but it's a waste of time.
It's unproductive.
You need sleep to regenerate and get nice face. Though
Exactly.
I don't have,
But,
it's okay.
but that doesn't mean that it's not a waste of time, right?
Arguably what we're doing now is a waste of time though.
No, it's like, you see that like if you're planning something, whatever, you have to factor in, okay, the fact that I need to sleep. Like if you go overseas, half your trip is sleeping. Okay, maybe not half lah, but
That's why I book the hotels, man.
wasted. But it's a waste.
But the sleep in the hotel.
Okay, inside today, right, there is a device that you can attach to your brain.
Then you won't feel tired also lah.
You don't need sleep.
And no side effects, no like medical problem.
Will you take it?
Yes.
Yeah lah. So you don't love sleep, right?
Wow, but it
But I
feels
love
so
sleep.
tired. No, he said he won't, but I would not take it.
Really?
I want to sleep.
Why? What's the feeling that you get from it?
Like I feel like it's like a time like to myself that I'm doing nothing, and then I don't feel guilty about it also. But so my question to you, right, is it do you hate sleep because you feel like you have a fear of not being in control of your time? You know what I mean?
Fear of not being in control of my time.
So then would that be solved by living longer? Like if you know that you're going to live until like 150 years old, right? Will you still dislike sleep as much?
No, I think it's the idea that you have to think about it even, and then you get tired, and then you know that okay, I'm going to have this set aside this time to recharge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so even the time that you are awake that leads up to the sleep is a waste of time also to me.
I get what you mean, like, because I know that I always try to avoid sleep. Like, I'm always using my phone to prolong the time that before I need to sleep, right? But I realize I also love sleep because I sometimes long for it. I think that love for sleep is because I am tired. So if you don't ever get tired, I probably wouldn't.
Wait,
So
there's a theory for that.
There's this phenomenon called revenge insomnia.
I was gonna say that. Revenge bedtime procrastination.
So basically is that because you have very little control of your time in a day because you need to work and whatnot, right? Or you need to tend to your kids, you come back and you like entertain your wife and whatnot.
Yeah.
So when you go and sleep and everyone's asleep and you are tired as shit, you don't allow yourself to sleep because this is the time where you decide what exactly you want to do.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some serious shit, man.
He experienced it.
I do it.
I think everybody has lah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know the concept of insomnia, like I never understood it properly, right? And I have experienced it, but I never understood it properly until I watched Fight Club, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Elaborate.
Like you are never fully awake, and then you never properly sleep also.
Like Edward Norton was in insomniac, right?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, spoiler alert. It's a huge twist, yeah.
Yeah, but that feeling lah.
I didn't watch it.
Like
I
it
also never
described
watched
it very
before.
accurately for me, yeah. Because if you don't sleep properly, when you wake up also you still very tired.
Like, what state are you
throughout
in?
the day. Yeah. No, so the
90
ideal
minutes.
sleeping cycle for humans is actually 4 hour.
Oh.
So there are 2 4-hour windows for you to sleep, and then the rest of the time you actually can
Like
function.
lions, fun fact.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fun fact indeed.
Because I was trying this app out, like I think like 4 or 5 years ago, that was saying that basically you when you wake up, right? So basically there's a graph, and so this is when you are in light sleep and then deep sleep, and usually that cycle happens in 1.5 hours. So if you wake up right after 1.5 hours, or after 3 hours, or after 6 hours or 7.5 hours, you will feel fresher than waking up after 2 hours or after 1 hour.
Doesn't work. I tried before.
What's for me? Like for example, if I sleep 8 hours, I can get quite fresh.
Yeah.
When I wake up at 7 hours, I get very tired. But 6 hours, I'm fresh.
Yeah. Same.
Man, it doesn't work for me at all. Yeah. I tried that thing.
Maybe just because you hate sleep, so it hates you too.
Even for power naps also, there's the ideal. What's the problem?
I feel like I'm more tired now than I ever was. Like when I was a kid, like I think when I was in uni and like when I first started working, right, I had trouble sleeping. I would be 2-3 hours in bed, like tossing and turning. Now, right, I can sleep anywhere. Like anytime I can just fall asleep. Yeah.
Oh, it's easier for you to fall asleep now.
It's easier to fall asleep now. No, I feel like it might also be related to me getting together with Nat. Like sleeping next to her maybe helps me fall asleep faster, as opposed to sleeping alone.
Boring.
Yeah.
No, kidding.
The sound of her voice makes you want to fall asleep. The only way I can get her to stop talking is to sleep.
If I start using this breathing technique, maybe she'll go away.
It's the comfort in knowing that you're right there next to me.
Yeah. Security lah, security.
No, you also,
Exactly.
is it the same for you? Like I cannot, when I share with people, right, I find it very distracting. Any subtle movement, right, then I'll be like,
Oh, because you're a light
already.
sleeper.
I sleep better with people in the room.
no, I'm not a light sleeper, but when
Like
somebody
people
is
or
using
you
it-
pet.
I mean, I don't usually sleep with other people lah. So,
No, but
so
like
far
if-
it's been bad lah.
What
It's like a
question?
camp, so you go for like.
Or like even last time I shared with my sisters. Yeah, I feel better. Cause I think my senses very strong one. Like I can hear shit, I can smell shit. And like even the most subtle,
better clean your
like the most subtle, softest thing I can hear or smell.
Like your dad's fart.
So if I hear a sound, right, and I'm alone in the room, or especially if it's a big bed and there's someone supposed to be beside me and pet's not beside me because pet
Scary.
is somewhere else, right, I must open my eyes to check. I must.
But when she's there, you don't have to open your eyes, man.
Yeah, then you just keep rationalizing that everything is bad. lah.
Wow, I'm the complete opposite, yeah. If my mom call me, right, then I just, I pretend I'm sleeping. I don't know to react.
But you must understand that I grew up with my mom can see spirits, unless she's f***ing with me.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've like all these things very real to me.
Wait, then have you all had like sleep paralysis kind of thing before?
Yes.
Once.
Is it? No, but because there's a scientific explanation to it, right? So do you think that yours is the scientific version or is actually
The spiritual.
Yeah.
version. What was yours?
Spiritual.
I think it's all the scientific version. It's just how when your brain goes into overdrive and you overthink, what do you think of? When you think that it must be a ghost, right? Then your dreams start playing up that ghost.
It's a function of your mind, lah.
So I've had multiple like episodes, right? This one was the last one I ever had. Then like I always rationalized it as okay, fine, my brain is awake, my body is not yet okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm not as scared, right? But then there was one night, right? I was sleeping like facing the wall. Behind me is my study table, and after I can hear like the chair like rolling around. Then after that, I'm like, okay, fine. I know it's another episode of sleep paralysis already, right? Then I start praying. Then after that, I can
But
feel
during
this.
sleep paralysis, when you try and pray, it's damn hard to remember the words, right?
No, I just pray, Jesus help, Jesus help. That one confirm can remember.
So you're
then I felt like these 3 fingers, like claws, right, like scratched down my back, and it's like damn painful. And I perceive myself to have a higher tolerance of pain. Like I was really like, whoa, then like I tried to turn to see but cannot see, or like move away but I cannot move.
Yeah.
Then after that, somehow I fell asleep. Then after I wake up, I thought, okay, fine, it's all a dream.
Later on, Hugh Jackman was behind you.
I go and shower. Then I on the water, I turn right, then my back like.
Oh my god.
Then after I go and see the mirror, right, 3 scratches like down my back.
I'm getting goosebumps. This is scary.
Explain this.
Was it Wolverine-ish?
I never see clearly lah. It's like 3 like clear scratches.
I'm getting chills.
Like human. In a correlation to that, don't you all realize, right, that your dream many times, right, correlates to what will wake you up as a trigger. So for example, you can imagine your mom calling you in your dream. Then maybe your mom call you again in that dream, but this time you wake up and it's your real mother really calling you. Do you all have these kind of things?
No.
Yeah,
so how come the last split second of my dream, right, can match with reality?
No, because you're half waking up.
Because you're hearing it,
Yeah,
so
you're
your brain
hearing
is
it
processing it, then it creates that illusion that it's happening in your
Which
dream.
we correlate to that.
So maybe someone else was
Scratch your back.
Yeah,
How? My fingernail like
No,
that.
like
sia.
maybe like your bed or
like in the
something.
daytime, where your body's trying to heal, then sometimes it hurts because the blood rush there.
So it happened before you sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, it was already there.
Like when you need to pee, you dream of yourself going to pee.
No, but I accept the explanation.
It's the same as deja vu, right? It's just your memory sending you the same image twice.
Yeah. But deja vu is like a false memory. You think that you dreamt about this, but you actually didn't.
Yeah, because there's a lapse in that moment that you're experiencing it. Your brain is basically sending you the same thing that you're processing twice.
Yeah. Have you all
So your
sleptwalk
brain fails
before?
you.
Have I what?
Sleptwalk.
Sleepwalk.
I think it's-
Wait,
no, but I
sleptwalk. Okay, anyway.
Sleepwalk.
Sleptwalk.
Sleptwalk.
Have you experienced sleepwalking?
Sleepwalk.
Yeah.
I used to.
I've never.
I had I remember being in a like a sleepover with a bunch of guy friends, right? And then we had this friend, I mean like we're all so close lah. And this guy, like, he always sleepwalks. And so there was one point in time, right? He went to the toilet, had a shit, and then went back to bed, right? But he was asleep the
Oh my
whole
god,
time.
he didn't wash. No.
I'm sure he did lah.
Yeah, okay.
Which also reminds me that I have, oh my god. So there was one time when I was 14,
He
right?
didn't wash.
I only remember sleepwalking once in my life. And in my dream, right, I went to the toilet. So I got up, I opened the door, pulled out my pants and peed into the toilet bowl, right? And then
You pee yourself.
when I woke up, right, what I realized was that I opened my closet door and I peed my entire closet.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So you also sleepwalk?
But it happened once.
He has such horrible pee stories all the time.
Yes, yeah, this guy.
I mean, I was damn surprised because I woke up to go to school, right? Then I opened my closet, I was like, why is it so smelly? And then I realized that the door that I imagined opening in my dream was just my closet door, my cupboard, and then I just peed in the entire shit.
So that's the only one that you can remember.
Maybe I peed in many places.
Yes, yeah.
Your mom damn busy.
You know, I
when
had
you
a
were
time
younger.
whereby, like nowadays,
Who is being then you just
nowadays when I dream that I pee, right, and I would snap out of it, right, I wake up, the first thing I did is touch my crotch to see whether I pee myself. But I got this memory, right, whereby there was one time I dreamed I pee, I woke up, I pee. It was on a double-decker bed, and I just went to school. Yeah, because it's those times where you wake up at 6:30, that kind of one.
Never shower.
And just, no, I showered, I went to school, but I left my bed as is. My mum, and I was like quite old already, maybe like Sec 1, Sec 2 already. My mum just changed my bedsheet, we never talked about it to this day. Wow. Yeah.
Brother, she damn brother.
Damn brother, right?
Yeah.
I just suddenly think about it and like, wow, she really, we never talked about it.
Well done, Mama Chua. Have you heard of precognition or premonition dreams?
Dreaming about the future, of things that are gonna happen.
Yeah, so like dreaming of things and then it really happened in the future. Have you all kena before?
Okay, so I have a kind of story to this. I don't know whether it qualifies as that.
Let's hear it.
So basically, when I used to be with my ex, right, there were occasions where I would dream of her, and after the next day I'll ask her, is there something wrong? And then more often than not, the answer is yes. And then it continued till like after we broke up, right? Then like when we were still talking on and off that time, like sometimes I'll dream and then I'll ask, then is something wrong? Got one time I dreamed of her mother. Then after that I asked her like, hey, your family okay? Then she said, oh, my mom is going for surgery.
And you hadn't been talking?
No,
for a
that
while,
one we completely like not talking.
So maybe it's just her life got a lot of problems.
Yeah, but also like, but it's only as in, but all of these like coincides with times that I dream of her also, no?
But maybe he every day got problem.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why.
maybe.
It just happened.
So no matter what you ask, right, it will be a yes.
Like horoscope.
Oh, horrible, yeah, I pray for her.
Today you will breathe.
So it's very funny. So like a medical journal called Psychology Today, right, found in an informal survey that about half of the US population has had experiences of a prophetic dream.
Ooh.
So a dream that had really like resulted in like something happening in the future. There were actually two notable examples. And this has happened in the past. So a landslide in Wales, in the UK, right, before the disaster, apparently many of them in that neighborhood, right, or that town had dreamt about an impending disaster happening. And then the children who died, right, had even mentioned before they died that they dreamt about death. And then it really happened.
Chills.
Yeah.
And another prominent story was Abraham Lincoln, right, 2 weeks before he was assassinated, he told his wife and a couple of close friends, right, that he dreamt about seeing his dead body in the White House.
Wait, did he die in the White House?
He died in Capitol Hill, if I'm not mistaken. Let's find that out properly.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because if he didn't, then this whole story falls apart.
Nope, Patterson House. So, and another prominent story, right?
White in colour.
Which is a house. Which is a house, correct.
There were some possible explanations as to why premonition dreams or precognition happens. So the first one I think we kind of touched upon earlier was deja vu. It's when your brain like creates a false memory. But then for like the kids who died, like you can't really explain that, right? The other one is selective recall. So sometimes you have a dream. Say for example, you went to the beach, you lost your shoes, your mom scolded you, you lost your car and all these different things, right? And then in real life, completely different thing happened, but you lost your shoes. That one memory, right? You might associate with the dream and go, oh my god, I thought that this happened, but actually the whole dream was longer than that, and you don't remember that.
Right.
The other one is like it's pure coincidence, right?
No, I would think that it could be like you have a vibe that something's bad about to happen.
Yeah.
Because you walk past, you see like, it looks like we're any time for a landslide.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of manifests that, and your dreams actually come after that manifestation.
Exactly. So it's called subconscious connections that you make.
Right.
If you're already worried about something that's going to happen, then most likely you're going to think about it. You will definitely dream
Like your
about
ex.
it. Yeah.
Like
So-
maybe you have bad sense in the daytime.
Right.
You have bad sense, something's off. Maybe the way she posts on social media is off.
Right.
And you think about it, and that night it becomes a dream. Then you text her in the morning, then you kind of confirm your dream as opposed to confirm your vibe in the day.
So like for Abraham Lincoln, for example, Abraham Lincoln, for example, he had a lot of enemies because he made a lot of like very controversial but good like decisions, and so obviously he knew that might happen, and so he worried about it. Yeah. So speaking of premonitions, right? There was an article that came on CNN. So in the summer of 2008, an elderly psychic published a book that contained a very ominous prediction that in 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness was spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs.
Oh, that's COVID.
That's COVID. She basically had a premonition about it. Like,
But many people did though, to be fair. Like Bill Gates. Like it's not a premonition lah. He just kind of said the next big thing that's gonna hit the world is.
No, but he gave the year some more though, and what exactly it attacks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
True. And it's all published in the book.
But I mean, there are 100,000s of them.
Yeah, that's why.
of
It's
course
just
lah.
finding
Then one
that
hit,
one.
then we-
Yeah, correct. So how do you guys think that the world would end?
We will eat each other.
Like a cannibalist, like zombie.
Yeah, we will
Apocalypse.
run out of resources somehow, and then people will just eat each other until we all die. We'll kill ourselves lah, basically.
Or, so in the Bible, there's an account of how the world will end. Do you know about the book of Revelations in the Bible?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like this final chapter within the.
The end of the world chapter.
So basically, like blasphemous. So basically, it's God showed one of the disciples a glimpse into the future. Yeah, so like thousands of years ago, right, that showed him the glimpse of the apocalypse, which is the end of the world. So he could only write it down the way he understood it. So imagine a man back then see helicopter today wouldn't be able to say, oh, a helicopter, you know?
Yeah.
So he also talked about the plague. He also talked about so back then they would say like chariots of fire or flying chariots. Then presumably you were looking at
rockets,
tanks and Apache helicopters, you know, that kind of stuff, like attack helicopters. So there are many interpretations of what it is. I'm not saying I subscribe to it, Father.
This show like something very religious.
Yeah, it does. So I'm not saying I subscribe to it, right? But there was this one that I read, I remember I got chills, like mad chills from it. So one of it wrote that like there's a 7th New World King.
Like the Antichrist thing, is it?
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
So many people try to figure out, correct, is it talking about US presidents and all that stuff, right? And then this person, not that I subscribe, but this person related the new kings, right, to the modern day popes. And back then when I read it, right, it was the transition of popes. It was the invasion of Iraq. And all that like kind of came in together. Like, and no, when I read it at that time, right, Pope Benedict XVI haven't quit yet.
Oh.
Then when he quit, I suddenly, like I read this like maybe 6-7 years ago. Then when he quit, right, he was the first sitting Pope to resign, right, then I panicked. Then that's when I read this, I remember everything came about.
So you believe?
Not the interpretation, but I believe in my religion.
Because it's based on the
It's
way
an
how someone
interpretation,
interprets. Yeah.
No, so even the stuff in the Bible is an interpretation, right?
It's an account lah.
Right.
Because
It's a recount.
yeah, it's a
But how it relates to each
Story.
person differs, ma.
Yeah lah.
But right, so I've actually saw this video about like 10 reasons why you don't actually exist.
okay.
Like we're going down the line of that, right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's like, as in like the end of our life is, because I was just thinking about it, right? If the end of my life is just the end of my life, you know? So they talk about how, actually Neil deGrasse Tyson like gave the probability, right? Like what is the percentage chance of us being in a simulation?
Yeah.
You know the number?
90.
It's like 99.9, yeah. Because like imagine when our civilization eventually becomes advanced enough to create a simulation of our civilization. And then in that civilization, people will get advanced enough to create a simulation, and then so it just goes down.
It's the Rick and Morty episode lah.
Oh, I never watched Rick and Morty.
Okay, shit.
So if you throw a pin, right, what are the chances that you'll land in the real world?
If you throw what?
A pin, like into all these simulated worlds,
right.
which is you lah.
Yeah.
Like if you throw
Is that
you.
0.0001%?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter lah. If
Yeah.
it's a simulation, it's a simulation, right? It doesn't actually
Yeah.
matter.
No, it does. Because at the end of your life, when you unplug, right, where are you going to be?
No. So you might not be being played by anyone. You are
Yeah, you're just
AI.
a hologram, yeah.
So like bringing
You are that character in Maple Stories that's just selling shit. That's you.
Oh my god, I'm an NPC.
NPC.
Yeah, NPC.
You're not the main character.
This is so strange because it's actually related to the dream story. So like when I was 7, right, or 8, like a recurring dream that I had and a nightmare, right, was that I kept having an existential crisis. Like
At 7 years old.
how am I? Yeah, I remember being very like, how am I here? Like I'm seeing through these eyes, right?
Wow.
Like how am I here? And I started getting damn scared because like I'm just one speck in this entire universe, right?
That's why sex education is very important.
But I just started getting damn worried. Then I started crying like randomly, and I cannot explain to my mom that it's an existential crisis. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
word.
she wouldn't believe
So I
it,
just kept saying like, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Then she just said, huh?
Oh my god.
Because we love you, like, you know. Then like, it just got so.
So you basically went crazy, yeah?
Wait, so how did you like
It could be
get
a blip in your reincarnation.
No, so how it started, right, wasn't it became a recurring dream, but how it started was that I just started staring in the mirror for like a good 5 to 10 minutes, just like staring myself in the mirror. I was like, how am I seeing through these eyes?
Like some movies, then you...
No, so there's a theory about that also. That like nothing exists aside from you. So if I walk out of this room now, this room ceases to exist.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
it's just I
Correct.
imagine it one.
Yeah, there's nothing behind me, right? Until I look there, then the thing exists.
Yeah.
It's like the
Schrodinger's cat.
Simulation.
Alright, it's TikTok time! Fast becoming my favorite segment.
Right. It grows on you. Shit.
Hey, welcome.
Oh, ice.
Welcome, Ray.
So for this one, you all have to take one ice cube, right? And then burn it a bit, and then put it in your mouth, and you're supposed to make a smoke out of it.
The angle wrong, I tell you. Never mind, later I show you how to do.
Oh!
Oh!
Who do wrong?
Oh,
Nothing.
me bastard.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have primitive dreams, let us know what they were and do subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
I just pressed the romantic one for us.
Extraordinary.
The first thing they come out is pleasurable and sexy. So recently, right, I was introduced to this app called The Pattern. Okay, I don't know what the hell it is, but it's freaking creepy. So I asked everybody here to download it. We've all tried it with like our best friends, partners, and whatnot, right? So we're gonna share with you about it today. Let's go.
This is
shit. This is your daily catch-up. Okay, yeah, so the pattern, right? I mean, we already talked about this, right? For those of you who don't know, it's basically I think it's, if I'm not wrong, an astrology-based app. Yeah. But they
market it.
But they package it in like not in that way lah. So it's more how do I put it? It's not more digestible, but more approachable.
More, it feels logical-ish, but then they ask for your birth time. Then
No, but is that not what CoStar is?
Mumbo jumbo comes.
Yeah,
CoStar
correct.
is plus NASA.
But it's less turn-off-ish if you don't believe in like astrology.
Right.
So the app, right? Not only does it tell you who you are and what you are.
But human, wow.
But you can also add your friends, and then you all can like match each other, and then like you will actually explain to your relationships, whether it's like a friendship or a romantic relationship.
One thing that's really interesting is that it will identify like the problems, potential problems, or potential like high points of like your relationships, whether it's like your friends or your romantic partner.
Correct.
If only we earn affiliate marketing like dollars on this.
What do you mean if only? Link below.
The app got quite popular because of Channing Tatum.
Yeah. No, apparently the exact thing that he said in therapy, the app highlighted.
And so one by one, people started trying for themselves and had the same reaction, like what the fuck, what the fuck.
No, general, isn't it? Mine was very general. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I read it and it felt correct.
Yeah.
But I feel like if let's say you didn't get this line, I'm gonna fit you this line, and you might feel like it's correct also. So I
also added you.
I don't know, man.
So why we add each other as friends?
So, okay. Let me tell you all mine today, okay?
Okay, yeah, go.
A door has opened for you. What happens now is significant.
Just like open a door for John.
But you may miss the moment if you're not paying attention.
He didn't pay attention.
He did say thank you though.
Your relationship path is being activated right now and is aligning with your purpose. The people you meet are incredibly significant.
Thanks.
Hey, oh my god.
Did you have a
you
meeting
did meet
this
someone
morning?
significant.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Someone you've always wanted to be with.
Doesn't have to be a
Or
relationship
there's an
partner.
or, there's an or.
If wrong,
Or you might meet examples of the type of people you want to be with. Oh shit. But now someone you meet or the people you surround yourself could potentially change your life. Oh my god. Okay.
Right.
I'm embarking on some new shit,
he's
guys.
very convinced about it.
These meetings are
You had more than one.
and like I met people. Whether you're finding a potential romantic or professional partner during this time, or have a
professional
brief
partner.
but powerful encounter.
Everybody who can
Done.
relate to this, please comment down below so we know
Yeah,
whether it's legit.
maybe I'm reading yours. Maybe we're born at the same time.
I just pressed the romantic one for us.
Extraordinary.
The first thing that come out is pleasurable and sexy.
I take it to the candy shop.
Okay, so now you all are going to basically analyze your relationship first, then we're going to look at the app.
We're gonna say what, like, so we transcend. Okay, none of that surface stuff. Okay,
correct.
If it hurts, just say I can take it. Okay.
Wait, so before you start, there are categories. So I'm going to tell you the category, then you all talk about those specific categories, okay? So first of all is what's amazing about your relationship?
Next one first. We skip this one.
What are the trials of your relationship?
Frustration.
Wow, where do we
Okay,
begin?
okay. You go first.
No, you go first.
Come on, you go first.
Right
I
there,
didn't set a
guys,
tone.
right there.
I would like to think you're good friends to begin with. Right
No,
now.
I
Yeah.
agree.
It's just that we also have a lot of hurdles.
A lot of hurdles.
Maybe because we work together. If we don't need to work together,
Yeah.
we won't have that much hurdles.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
we'd be much closer friends if we weren't working together. You didn't agree.
I agree. I say
The is like
I swallowing saliva, you sensitive. Hey, rewind, I swallowing saliva.
okay. What's the category again? Trials.
Trials
Yeah.
and frustrations, yeah.
I feel like oftentimes we misalign, right? So then, like sometimes I feel like you're mansplaining to me, I'm mansplaining to you when we both get certain things. Then we can move forward to the conversation
Correct.
much earlier
but,
already.
But we keep tapping on,
Yeah.
and it's like ego is at play.
Ah.
But we are not actually talking about. We both know we are both on the same page.
And how does that make you feel?
Therapy.
Honestly,
this one
honestly
couple
it's okay.
therapy.
So then like it feels like almost within a conversation that needs to get somewhere, there is a little bit of a competition.
We must always
sometimes.
jump over. We must get past this thing. Which wastes time to me.
Okay.
Which makes our conversations incredibly inefficient.
Very inefficient.
Very inefficient.
You have to get past half an hour first.
Yeah.
Okay, positive a bit. Attractions. Like what your
How do y'all work
you're
well
attracted to each
together?
other.
You're asking for
No.
different shows.
Okay. So okay, I think
He nothing to say.
I think quite fast. And I think he can think at the same speed. So we don't need to state a lot of the obvious.
Wait, these good points, is it?
Yeah, good points.
Attractions.
Just now he very excited.
Is it
to
very
say
difficult? We can go back to bad points.
Got a lot of good points.
It's very hard to rank because they're all great, you know.
Buying time.
Just need to choose.
Every second hurting his ego more.
Yes, yeah. You know, I got feelings at TBH. Hey, faster lah.
Wow. Got a lot.
You can lie, TBH.
No, not gonna lie.
Something specific.
I learned a lot from your ability to do certain stuff lah.
Let's run a f***ing test lah. You got nothing to say
No.
about me. Yeah.
Sure.
Run the bond. We are generating our friendship bond. Epic.
Same
Same basically. We have the rarest connection. You and Daniel have one of the strongest patterns possible between friends.
Wow.
Okay, we jump to frustration.
Okay.
So under amazing. Why is there an amazing tab? Hey, why is it all amazing?
No, it's whether it's
No, got multiple.
So life-changing, amazing, trials.
Yeah, no, you see, amazing.
So all three are amazing.
They don't have the frustration clouds, yeah. It's grey.
But cannot be though. Trials
Trials
lah.
lah.
Cannot be.
No, but there's a frustration cloud.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You and Daniel have a particular dynamic that could be challenging if you are unable to communicate about it. What, mate? Hey, calm down. This is all mumbo jumbo. On the one hand,
It's really
What?
on the one hand, you could find your friendship with Daniel feels exciting and deep, but on the other hand, it could feel like you're unable to maintain a sense of control when you're together, which could feel uncomfortable. If there's conflict between you, we have a lot of conflicts,
Yeah.
You may find yourself keeping your distance or avoiding spending time together. You might feel cautious, anxious, or mistrusting around Daniel.
Yeah.
Like you think he's keeping secrets.
I
Or
am.
Instead of shutting down, you could be easily triggered and find yourself overreacting to Daniel in ways you're not used to doing with other friends. Okay, that's true.
And half of that they said before they run the bond.
Hey, this is true. Hey. Oh my god. You know, a period of my life, right, where a lot of people, like, I had a hard period 1-2 years ago.
Yep.
And I said this about you exactly. Daniel is a wild card in your life.
Yes, I remember you telling me this.
You want to try a romantic relationship?
Sure. Do it. Hey, but okay lah, not
This
bad
will
lah.
count as one of your bonds for
Just
the day.
do only lah.
Yeah, so you can do another day.
So I got free tomorrow lah. So powerful.
It is romantic. Hold hand when you reach through.
Wow, not bad.
Not bad. So like when you told me to do it that time, I thought I was gonna like fill up a questionnaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they asked me for my time of birth. Then I roll.
Yeah, because as opposed to a personality quiz, right? Like you answer questions. I think like we had this conversation with Darren actually. Like with MBTI, it's input based on your own choices. Whereas with pattern, right, it's like you input nothing except your time and date.
That's why it's creepy, right? Because how would they know all this based on that?
But I do have challenges filling up these things, you know. Like I always feel like, am I playing to who I think people think I am? How I want to be, or
who you
how
actually
I currently am. Yeah. And then your strongest memory of who you are your best and worst things in life, not the average.
Yeah.
So then you either think you want to gun for the best or the worst. And you want to be really honest with yourself, you go for the worst.
Correct.
If you want to optimize for good results, you go for the best version of yourself. And then either way, you get something that's very dishonest.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to take this on a slight detour, right? But I feel like doing all these tests, especially when it comes to astrology and things like that, I feel like it's because people want to have some thinking that your life isn't in your control, that you don't have free will, and that's what different debate.
And that's sometimes comforting, right?
Yeah, because the idea or the perception that you may have free will leads to regret, what? Because every path that you choose would mean that everything you decided, where you are today, was a series of like different decisions that you made. And so you might regret things that you made in the past. But if you believe in astrology and your life was predetermined, no matter what you choose, you were meant to be here, then it almost takes away the accountability of like...
But then that
it
also
reduces
makes...
the anxiety of the idea that everything is just chaos and randomness also lah.
But then does that not also make you feel like then there is no point in like going forward making whatever decision you make because everything is predestined?
Exactly.
That's why it's fake.
So there's also this quote by, I think it was Freud actually, that said that people actually don't like freedom because freedom means responsibility and people don't like responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I actually subscribe to. Like, I believe that free will is like a illusion.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing that I wanted to bring up, right? Okay, first of all, like, what is the real motivation for why people use these apps? Is it that we are trying to look for a certain type of certainty?
I feel like it's self-validation, if that makes sense.
Or
the self-discovery. Like you feel like it tells you stuff that you don't know
I think
about
very
yourself.
few is self-discovery.
Yeah.
Because if you had to learn something that was different about you, you might not subscribe to it.
yeah, or right, sometimes you subscribe to it because it gives you
Excuse to be an asshole.
excuse for your behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. As in like saying that I don't do this because I ENTP like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or you're a Taurus.
Like your
you're very
horoscope makes you an
stubborn.
asshole.
Yeah, I think it's an excuse to behave badly, but I think people also just want some form of like self-affirmation.
So I went to see a numerology once.
You went to see a numerology.
Gist.
5, 6.
Actually, tarot card reader once. What I mean 5, 6?
Your number,
Numerology.
your life number.
2.
is-
My life path number is. No,
that's the
That's
anagram.
anagram.
right?
Yeah. I forgot. I mean, I have it here lah. I have
You're
it
a
here.
2 and an 8.
So you basically went to visit
a
a
three.
witch, like
No. Okay, I'll tell you why. Actually, I would even put her name out. Her name is Sun Goddess Tarot. That's like her.
Wait, is it Joanna?
Joanna, yeah.
I spoke to her before also.
Now, I tell you why it was like as a skeptic. Because back then she was a director of marketing in AIA. I know she don't need my money. Right? Like, I mean, it's not cheap though. Her readings are like 120, 150 bucks back then. But because I met her husband, I mean, I'm friends with her husband, she introduced, and my husband is doing photography, and so sometimes he need video support at a budget. So we try and support lah. And so she said she wanted to thank me and give me a free reading. So it was all like not face to face. So I just sent her whatever she asked me. And then when she sent me that thing, okay lah, it's like that lah. You know, I got very shocked. And it was mostly good stuff, right? But she said this, you might want to sit down when you read this. I'm never wrong. She said this in like that tone.
Wow.
Then plus the fact that she was a big timer in the industry and I know she don't need my money, right? Well, I slurped it all up.
So what she, as in, are you able to share what she said?
It's so long.
The need to
Then
sit
actually
down.
I went back. I went back to her at a time to do tarot card reading for an important business juncture. And then yeah, that was not good.
Oh.
Yeah, like wrong. Everything.
Okay, so when did you do that first reading?
Maybe 2017.
So that's about 3-4 years ago, right?
2016. Yeah.
Okay. So from then until now, have the things that have been
They come true.
prophesied?
No. So it's not. She also write it. It's not meant to be forecasting the future. It's like the life path number doesn't tell you what's next. There are many numbers, not just one number for your life, right? There are numbers that are like romantic relationship, how you will do a career, all different numbers one. Yeah, it's just to help you better understand your nature, what guides you, and what you are prone to, like getting like. But it does make some sweeping forecasting statements, like you are born for very big opportunities in life.
Okay.
Like you will have a lot of people coming to your way presenting very big opportunities, but you must be very careful on who you work with. Rather generic, but in that sense, I do believe and subscribe to the fact that I've been given more opportunities in life than most people in their lifetime.
Right.
Yeah, then I went to do the tarot, and then the tarot one quite interesting because tarot one you can say like, Denise, should she and I be friends? You know, as opposed to how am I in my relationship with others, right? I can say, should I be friends with Denise or will she like backstab me? Yeah. Then from there you pick a card, then you see the card face who and all that stuff. Yeah, so we did a bunch of stuff because there were multiple business decisions to be made.
How you did that for business?
We did it to. I think Jackie and I went together actually. So Jackie's my business partner, and I think we were at a juncture where we were quite unsure. Yeah. Then this is early on in the business. Like I think could be even before we start.
But you're doing that for fun lah, not.
No, so do you actually follow her?
Personally, I
recommendation?
was going through a point of uncertainty. It was when we started Gravity.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I got big offers. Or do I start a from scratch company?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I wanted to do it. And then I told Jackie about the free reading I got last time. So he tag along and he pay also. Then we just go Then we ask some questions lah.
Right.
Yeah. All of it didn't pan out.
my friend actually shared with me something very interesting. So her friend went to do a reading also, but instead of having the fortune teller read out the fortune, right, she got the fortune teller to write it down and put it in an envelope. And then so she will ask specific questions that are like time sensitive, like
Right.
Then she open
5 years later. Then she will open and see whether is exactly what the person said, which I thought was like damn genius, yeah.
But was
Genius,
it
meh?
accurate?
Either way, she lose money though.
Yeah, but don't you want to know the
But quite
information?
cool, right? It
beforehand?
proves it, right?
Oh, then you come back.
Yeah, it's
Sekali
just
they
not
cannot write
remember
past
in my
5
life.
years.
Yeah.
Wait, no,
Thank
so
you for
has-
breaking. Then you're like, oh no.
So he says that he goes to see like a fortune teller in whatever country he goes to, right? But have they been accurate, like you think?
There are a
I mean, the
lot.
cheating one's like quite real.
No, half of them, right? Not half of them, sorry. Half of the things they say, right, all exactly the same.
Like corroborate with one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a network.
But zun. Like them
Right,
zun.
right.
But are they general or are they quite specific?
I honestly cannot remember already.
So, cause I had
But
one
I just
that was-
remember them being very specific.
I one that was quite specific, but it wasn't for me. So like I think one of my parents went, or maybe like, and then they basically said that both your children, so me and my sister, someone will come and selflessly help them within the next 6 months, and in their careers. And it really happened to my sister like the next month, and it happened to me like 3 months after that. Like someone just out of the blue with no
Those give time
motive,
spent on scary, yeah.
like really just come and like help me propel something further. Yeah, it was quite scary. But like my sister one, for example, like she wanted to go into private practice, right? And then there was just this older like doctor who had no incentive to like help her whatsoever. Just basically selfishly give her clients, like some of his clients,
Wow.
selfishly like help her set up right next to his place and all, like private practice. Yeah.
Damn.
My mom is really into feng shui and stuff, one, right? So it's like my entire room, right, is also like not the whole layout, everything is the feng shui master say one.
Wow.
So I cannot shift stuff in my room, all that kind of stuff. Then it's like got one time, I remember this very vividly when I was younger, I really like the color yellow. Even though people call me dirty fellow. But then after that, one day, right, the fortune teller say that yellow is not my color. Then I completely have to drop yellow. I cannot even drink chrysanthemum because of chrysanthemum.
wow.
Because the can color is
But
yellow.
your pee though, for
Yes,
example.
yeah, you
Then
have
I
to
drink
a
more
lot of
water.
Really?
You are Chinese.
Yeah, okay, I never do that lah. But then it's like it's this kind of thing.
Yeah.
My mom is super into it, and I'm not very sure how much of it has like
Yeah.
come true.
Hey, we need
in
to
her
change the
life.
show colors, yeah.
But
100K views when you change the ring.
Oh,
No, so but you don't subscribe to it at all lah.
no,
It's your
I'm
mum lah.
Christian lah.
But subscribe to the Daily.
Christian cannot believe in this sort of thing, man.
I don't think so.
No, it's a clap.
You cannot
Only
be
Jesus.
a Christian fortune teller.
Cannot.
I don't think so. No, but there are
It's
Christians
paganism.
that can prophesy stuff though. But it's
Ah, yeah lah,
different
fortune
from
tellers
like.
lah. Christian fortune tellers.
But they are like,
It's
Prophets,
they hear the voice of God.
Right.
If not, it's paganism.
Then that kind they do the feng shui. You think they need like interior design like background?
I think a lot of feng shui is based on logic.
I don't think so based on my room.
No, suddenly it looks like shit, but you have to do it like
Yeah,
that.
Really, Rama?
It's like
Octagon.
no lah. My room's a square lah. HDB where got.
And then they add all the furniture until it become long octagon. Then you sleep in the middle.
No, but I remember last time, so like, I think there was this like feng shui master on the radio, and they said that you cannot have a toilet over your main house door, and it was exactly the layout of my house at that time.
You cannot have
As
a
in toilet facing the main.
Toilet above on the second floor cannot be on top of your main door.
Hindu story.
right.
Oh.
Terrace
Baller.
in Malaysia. So then they said right, the way to combat it right is to buy a light and shine it upwards. And so we had the most redundant light, right? Just every day have to turn on, shine upwards.
Then we flush the toilet with a light.
But you after that you baller. Oh, your shits were amazing.
I mean, they managed to afford terrace lah.
Like I think with self-fulfilling prophecy, I'm a huge realizer. So okay, I'm a huge skeptic,
Realizer.
but I would purposely go and read like what's my prediction for the year, because most likely it will end up being a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if it's like really positive, that I will work
Especially
really
if it's
hard.
good lah, right?
Yeah. Then I will always keep it in the back of my mind, and for some reason it always turns out true. But it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You feel like
I'm
the
very
universe
aware
is
of it.
aiding you in
Ah,
that. in
it's
that
like
quest.
it's a pep talk. It's a motivational pep talk.
There was this thing, right? Like I don't know if you told me or what about TikTok where it's manifestation was a trend, right? Yeah. So what was it exactly?
No, they talked about like if you want something, you just imagine you having it. So there are people that say like I manifest like money. Like they say like I imagine like I have money. Then they manifest. Right? I think they walk on the street and they pick up like $100.
Okay, that's a
That's-
stupid
okay,
TikTok thing.
that's
Sorry,
a bit,
I brought it up.
that's a bit far-fetched, but that is the entire premise of The Secret, the book. It's
Law of
basically
attraction.
about law of
The Cho
attraction.
Lun movie. Oh.
But this secret, there's a book called The Secret where everything that you want in life, visualize it. If you want to be a rich and wealthy and successful person, visualize what that life looks
I
like.
think this TikTok might have come from that book.
Yeah.
As far-fetched as it
But
became.
the idea is that because you visualize it, right, you end up making decisions that lead you towards that
Right.
part.
It's true.
Yeah. So if you like suddenly have a job offer which pays more, but then you're giving up or you're selling out, you end up taking that job because you visualize that wealthy lifestyle already. And you end up taking those choices.
It's a constant reminder of what you are striving for, aiming for. Rather than if you live life a bit more aimlessly and more.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps you lah, right?
I think at the end of the day, people are just using it to find some form of meaning.
Comfort
lah, I
and
guess.
yeah.
Or direction.
Yeah.
Before I was born, my parents went to a fortune teller, and fortune teller told them that I was either going to be an underworld leader or I'm going to be a great business leader.
So they thought you were going to be.
So will you ever try to be the business leader?
Yeah, so that's why now I cannot quit the gang yet because I haven't made it. No, so I honestly I grew up with the thought that I must be capable of bigger things. And whether or not that thing make me want to do this, or that thing is describing the fate, either way I think it helps.
Yeah.
Which also can work on a negative side.
My father took it so literally, he patrolled my school. And I
remember this.
only knew about it years ago, like a few years ago. He patrols the school.
I think you shared this on episode 1, right? But that was interesting.
Was he not
He
working?
shared it on Real Talk.
Oh, real talk.
Like, he not working. Like
No,
say
he got his own
time.
business.
Yeah.
You're working hard on
The
reaching
best part was that I am smoking around the school. I just never got caught. He's like, you know that mama shop? Then I was like, oh, but every time never see me lah. Then he never see me.
But later on, you know lah. You told him lah.
Never. I never actually talked to my parents about smoking, but they watch Real Talk, so they know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay lah, smoking.
But I don't really want. So you want to scold me for back then, sure.
I think the most important message at the end of the day is that if it helps in a positive way, then good. But like, don't get into a spiral. Don't use it as an excuse.
Like I've gotten readings that were like, oh my god, it's so positive, and so I strive towards it. I also gotten a lot of readings whereby it's completely off. Like especially like when I asked for a certain outcome of an event, right?
Yeah.
And it just there's no two way about it. It was wrong. Yeah. And so I guess when you're looking for comfort, you find comfort. When you're looking for something to go against and say it's not true, go against not true. As long as it helps you feel better.
Yeah. So it's how you apply into your life.
I feel very sad for people that that really believe in this, and then the person tell them you cannot settle down till you're 40. I have friends that broken up because they say if you get married now you're divorced, you must get married at 40. Yeah. And so the girl decided I don't want to wait. So she left.
Damn. Actually, a bit of a personal story. Do you want to go there? Okay, I'll just share. Is that 5 years ago, I stepped on oranges during a lion dance, and someone told me I was going to get 7 years of bad luck. And throughout those 7 years, I really suffered like the most worst shit ever.
All the scams, all that lah.
Scams, all that, worst stuff lah, like death in family, like relationship problems and things like that, right? And
so the 7 years over already?
This year 5, I think. Or year 6.
Oh shit, 2 more years.
But what's the worst part is that like there were instances where I could have done something about it or like come out of that bad situation a better way. But because I believed that bad luck, I was destined to be like this, I just accepted it and let it go.
I feel like because with that, right, and just now we talked about how people look for this because they're looking for direction. But then people always want things to happen how they imagine they want it to happen, if that makes sense. So when stuff happen differently, then like, oh, okay, maybe this is not what it's supposed to be. Like, maybe it's not for me, that kind of thing. But then I feel like this is why we take like the pattern or like astrology, everything with a pinch of salt lah. You can read, right? But then you take it with a pinch of salt, like what I mentioned. And it's like, even if things don't happen the way that you wanted it to happen, a closed door is also direction.
Yeah.
It's just not this way, it's this way.
And sometimes it helps to just take a step back. I think like you mentioned this in a previous episode, like sometimes your direction change or your motives change, but 5 years ago, this is exactly where you wanted to be and you don't realize that. So sometimes it helps to take a step back and have a bit of perspective as well. It's TikTok time!
You're very aligned.
So we're gonna react to a video.
No, so there's this trend right now, and on Netflix, right, they're asking people to go to this particular episode of this particular show.
Is it scary? Is it like ghost kind?
Are you actually scared?
Yeah, I'm legit damn scared, yeah.
Okay, let's go. Oh.
No, and then?
I think that's it lah.
Wait, but so what? But so what?
You like it, huh?
It's
That's it, that's it.
Huh? That's it?
That's it.
I thought is it scary?
You like it, huh?
It's
Why is that way? Not everybody's one like that, man.
For you guys watching, go and try this app. Let us know if it's like soon or not with your friends or whatever, right? And if there are any other things you want us to try or check out, let us know in the comments as well.
Yeah.
If not, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay, cool. Very good outro. Bye-bye.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
For example, we need to maybe like carry something and bring to the other room. Then there will be a woman that stand there and say, sorry, can you help me? Like, your guy's strong, you. I hate those type of people.
Chivalry is dead.
Yeah, I really hate those type of people, yeah.
Men are better than women. This is your daily ketchup. Hey guys, you're liking the content so far. Remember to drop us a sub and hit that notification icon. So right, there's a new research that found that chivalry, right, men opening the door for a woman, for example, acts like that, is actually considered sexist. What do you guys think?
I think about time, I feel like this whole feminine movement
Everything is gonna be wrong
collapse on itself.
No, okay, so the difference is there are like two types now. Okay, no, actually I think based on what I've read, there are many types, but these are
They can't be two types, that's binary. You can't deal with binary these days.
Based on our two-step process, these are the two types. So one is hostile sexism, which is like, say, if women are out of places where they should stereotypically be, for example, they're moving into male-dominated industries, they start demanding more pay, whatever, or even back then they start going to school, right? So then they get punished for that, for trying to move out of that box. While on the other hand, this benevolent sexism is like rewarding them for staying in their box.
Right.
So say for example, if I see, like I keep playing up, they're like, oh my god, this person like can cook, whatever, like stay at home, all that, that's my ideal woman.
Right.
Then that is benevolent.
And like a birthday, you buy a pressure cookers and shit. Like stay in the kitchen kind of a gift.
Yeah, but some of it is more subtle than that. So it's like doing something. If the girl is cold, for example, then you put like your coat around her.
Yeah.
It's like that too is kind of like being considered benevolent sexism.
Do you ever think you are sexist?
Oh wow, we're going there.
I've actually
You're
been
sexist?
anti-sexist. So right,
Whoa!
I'm
Tell me
damn
about it, sir.
trying to one up the woman.
Tell me about it.
I'm
Explain your new
always
terms.
right, like I want the woman to be on equal footing with me. Right? So that means if it's like, say there's a heavy thing that you need to carry, right? You carry
Yeah.
Cause I want to test and push and see whether they will just like fucking man up or not. I mean, for lack of a
man
better
up.
word. Lack of a better word, man up. You know what I mean?
There are so much better words.
No, like there have been instances, right, where, for example, we need to maybe carry something and bring to the other room. Then there will be a woman that stand there and say, sorry, can you help me? Like, your guy's strong, you. I hate those type of people.
Chivalry is dead.
Yeah, I really hate those type of people, yeah.
Like,
carry
as in
yourself
also
lah.
help lah, right?
Yeah.
The heavier stuff pass to the guys, right? But then you help. You don't
Exactly.
stand
But
up.
they,
Okay,
in
but
that
what if she
situation,
really
right,
cannot
they
carry?
take advantage of their sex to... No, confirm can run. It's not heavy. It's just that
okay,
it's
okay.
a laborious task. If the girl asks you for your jacket, right, and she never bring her own, right?
Does that annoy
And then you don't give her?
Wow, I cannot, yeah.
Because then you will end up being cold and it's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Bring your own, lah. Why you not bring your own?
Yeah, then why did she ask you? Then she
why
shouldn't
I
ask
must
you.
be-
What?
Yeah. Then isn't that the reverse sexism where you are the gentleman, so give me your jacket?
Okay, wait, so for your guys, right, do y'all feel like there are certain stereotypes that y'all have had to conform to just because you are men?
That jacket thing, I felt it once.
Right.
Yeah. Like, why you don't want to bring your own jacket?
Yeah, lor. That I not cool, man.
Okay, honestly, it's like, it's not like my girlfriend asked me for my jacket. but you can tell she's cold. Then it's like, I told you to bring a hoodie, what? Then you say no, and now you cold as shit. Then it's like, then I just have to take it off.
Yeah, then you feel guilty, right?
Yeah.
If you don't give.
No, but then I feel like that one is like your wife, then you want to care for her, versus if it's just a random lady.
No, but the other one is like, because you mentioned about like certain stereotypes, right? It's like guys having to pay on like first dates, or dates in general. Like there's always that expectation. Even if the other girl doesn't want it, to the guy it's always like, I need to pay him, not like she might think I'm a like weakling.
Yeah, there's the expectation that's already set, right?
But nowadays, don't you all find that like women also, like are more likely to want to go Dutch or even like will offer to pay?
Sure. No, but I feel like I saw a poll recently. So both genders voted, and the most popular outcome is that girls should offer to pay, but then in the end the guy pay.
Yeah. I also feel like sometimes it's a test,
the courtesy,
and the girls are
pay,
voting for that also.
Right.
Yeah.
I sometimes think that it's a test. Whenever the girl says, oh, we go Dutch lah or split lah, I feel like, nah, I see where you're going with this. Because you don't know.
You see those SG confessions, right? He said I offered and he agreed. Like, what asshole? Like, huh? You offer?
But you still got to do that dance. I think if I paid for a first date and the girl didn't even offer, I'll be like,
yeah.
I think it's just a social norm.
No, I'll do the check. I'll be like, next one on you.
No.
If you never say. Yeah.
What I like to do is that if the date was going well, right, I'll be like, oh, how will you get ice cream later? Then the date continues. Yeah. So like the reason why they're saying that benevolent sexism is sexism or like chivalry is sexism is because it's reinforcing that women are inferior than men, or that women need men for like certain things like this, and that's why they're saying it's dangerous in some aspect.
Okay lah, good lah. I mean, about time lah. Let it go full circle and see it play out. You know what I mean?
No, so for example, if it's late at night, and then you and your female friend hang out already, right? Then now you're gonna both bounce. So then you want to take cab or whatever, right? Then the cab come already, right? Should you let the girl go first? Or it's just like, oh, the cab come already, I struggle with that. So like, most expectation of gentlemanliness, I can get behind. You know? It's just like the kind thing to do. I struggle with, let's say you and I go on a cab, I open the door for you, then I close the door, then I go the other side. I feel like you might actually rather if we just go into the car together and be on our way. Why want to waste everybody's time?
Oh, I open the door because I don't want to be the one that moves.
Yeah. No, so
the wrong starting point.
So I struggle with this with Nat because to me, right, every time I open the door, right, I get this dilemma. If I open the door and
she will have to scoot.
I go in first because I scoot to save her the inconvenience. But then to other people around me looking, right, they might be like, wow, this guy just go in first, like only think of himself.
Yeah.
So then I always have to like, I always have to go through the whole
and many aspects of gentlemanliness is actually for the optics.
Yeah.
Many girls only complain of gentlemanliness when it's in public view.
Elaborate.
No, so what's the example in private?
Yeah.
Like for example, you get people that they complain like my boyfriend doesn't do this, right? But when he doesn't do it like just at home, you rarely hear about that complaint.
But then does that complaint not then stem from comparison though? Like if I see someone else, like the boyfriend open the door, then my boyfriend then open the door for me, then I like...
Yeah.
Yeah, as in that sounds like where because they see someone else do it, then they also want it, versus like they're just complaining for optics.
The point of you letting the girl take the cab first is because it's late at night.
But that reinforces that she needs to be protected by you.
Exactly. But
great, let it collapse on itself. Let it play out.
But the point is that it's late at night. It might be she's more likely to be susceptible to danger, most likely, or inability to defend herself because women are, for the most part, physically less.
I pray for you, son.
Too soon.
It's a minefield.
It will go full circle, but now you're not there.
No, as in like they will be less able to defend themselves.
It's true.
For the most part,
like more or less typically happen to girls than to guys.
Most predators tend to be guys,
and also because
almost prey tend to be women.
Yeah, most prey I would assume tend to be women. So then in that situation, should I just let her fend for herself? Like I just get into the cab first. I tired today.
Exactly. Like
I feel like there are many aspects of feminism that girls can get behind. And then there are certain aspects where there are just some people that took it too far. Then the girls just start keeping quiet, you know? They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Fourth wave feminism.
Like there was this interview, a street interview, I think it was a student from, I don't name the school, but it was like prestigious like secondary school. And they say
Singapore.
Is NS good for the boys? And they say, yeah, it builds character, it helps them man up and like make them good. Then they say, then do you think girls should go to NS? They say, no, it's a waste of time. in the same breath.
I remember.
In the same breath.
She kena, right, in the comments.
Yeah.
No, but if her reasoning is that men need to man up, then girls don't need to man up. So girls don't need
No,
to
like help them learn responsibility and
okay.
be
I'm actually totally
like mature.
like I feel like this NS thing is a huge argument in the spectrum of gender equality, right?
In Singapore,
In Singapore.
So have you all experienced like when you are younger, right? You fall down or whatever, then your parents just like, "Aya, you're a boy, just man up, that kind of thing.
Boys
Like,
shouldn't cry, like boys will be boys kind of thing, is
yeah.
it?
Have you had that kind of experience before?
Yeah. I was babied. I guess that's why I turned out this way.
Hey, you know, there was this really interesting experiment that people did. They said like if your child fall down, right, and then you coddle them, right, you'll
cry.
make them cry. Yeah. If they fall down, you're like, oh, okay, stand up.
Or if you pretend you never see, they'll just get up.
Yeah.
No, because of the attention that
Yeah.
like crying gets.
No, so yeah, like what was your case?
Boys don't cry,
I used to cry a lot as a kid. Like my cousins played with us a lot, and my cousins were a lot older than me. And so I got 大姐, 二姐, then I'm 三姐, because I keep crying. Yeah, so they called me 三姐 for a better part of like 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah, and it's to the point when I got girlfriend, right? And one of their cousins still called me 三姐. Then I flip at him.
But why did it offend you though?
Interesting. It was something that I was not proud of that I always cry. Yeah, so I cried a lot.
But were you not proud of it because it was something that people made fun of?
Yes. Like, I mean, I shared this story before. Like, I deal with pain differently with my classmates in primary school. When they kena pop 3 times, they say, wow, walk back to their seat. The first one is already, I cannot blink. If I blink, it will go already, you know? And okay lah, that's how my tear ducts are wired. I'm sure it hurts equally for the both of us.
But do you think that affected you later in life? Like, do you have to unlearn that process or understand that like it's okay to...
I think I overcompensate and made up for that manliness. I don't think I tried to show myself as more than, like, to be more manly, sorry. I want to correct that part. I think what I did was that I wanted to prove to them that you cannot pick on me. And so I stopped
that
allowing...
you could stand up for yourself.
Yeah, that I won't deal with even a 1% infection. I will fuck you back. Yeah, like I will stand up for myself.
So like benevolent sexism, whatever, we're using it in a social context. But then if whatever advantage, for example, that we're trying to use so that we can equalize women in some way, right? Isn't that then benevolent sexism also? Like I'll take, for example, any company policy that helps to equalize women. So like ensuring that they get unlimited maternity leave or whatever, or making sure that the board members have equal women to men. Like isn't that benevolent sexism? Because if we leave it to free market, right? If we leave it to market forces, and I'm sorry if I get cancelled for this.
But market forces are patriarchal though, like from history. So if all the way is being controlled by men, right? So now we're just saying that women need to be brought up.
Yeah, but they need to do it themselves.
Yeah.
We cannot be the ones to go and help them.
Don't we with me, you just say your point.
Men cannot be the one to go and like, yeah, we need to help and make things
No,
equal.
so now women are saying we demand equal pay. Then why are men not agreeable to that, for example?
So if we leave it to market forces, again, right, like we just see where this goes. Like a guy, right, and again, like disclaimer and caveat, not all women want to be mothers,
This conversation
obviously.
damn hard to have,
Yeah.
So all women, not all women want to be mothers, right? But a guy can shag like 500 different women and father 500 different babies and not miss a single beat. He can go back to work the next day and he's completely fine for 500 days.
Yeah.
But naturally, biologically...
Not you though, you can't.
Not me. Because my sex drive is so
You
low.
need so many pills.
But for a woman, if they choose to be a mother, they can only mother
like 2
one
a year
child
max, yeah.
at a time every 9 months, and then there's downtime. And so, based on market forces, to be an employer, like it's very hard for me to see the value. Oh God, this is going downhill very, very fast.
No, you go,
Okay,
you
no,
go.
but we are
Let it allow it
specifically
to
on the
collapse
line
on
of
itself.
capitalism.
We're just specifically on line of capitalism. Like, as a guy, right, like he's at work every single day. There's a clear sense of progress as opposed to a woman having to miss 3 months of work or to miss 6 months of work.
Right.
Then I have a question for you, bouncing off of his point just now, right? Given that, like, you've been the boss of someone who's had to take maternity leave and all that, right? Do you think the company loses out?
It's a bit sian lah, but it's like it to be like that kind of vibe.
But do you think that it affects your hiring decision in any way? Like you say, like now I come in, I tell you, this year I'm planning to have a child. And then you have another applicant of the same skill set that comes in, but not planning to have a child. Does that affect your hiring decision?
Ooh, I would think maybe to a certain extent, depending. If let's say asking you to start a new division,
right?
Yeah, and then we are sprinting towards a target, then we want to raise funds in 6 months. Yeah, and I know 4 months in, you have to go on maternity, right? I feel like, but it's not a sexist thing, you know?
Yeah, I know.
It's a practical thing.
And I think it's also a life choice on, like, it's a priority thing on that person's part, on the applicant's part. like I know that I'm going to have a child, this is what I want, then there are trade-offs, right?
I think women are more equitable to society. Like they bring more value to human life than men in that sense.
Okay.
Because
I'll take this compliment.
You ensure the survival of the species more than men, ma.
Right.
But to answer your question to the point, whenever someone goes on maternity, it's quite, you're a bit shack lah.
Yeah. What about like paternity leave though? Do you think paternity leave should match maternity leave?
To a certain extent, it can be matched, right? They can share that leave now and divide it. It's whether the company wants to let the girl have the full maternity leave and then match it straight for the guys.
Yeah, so if it was two men applying, but one is also going to have a child versus one that's not going to have a child, it would be the same consideration, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not sexist in that regard.
Right.
Where I think it's even worse is that a woman has to have that trade-off, whereas a man never has to ever make that trade-off of like, do I want to become a parent?
But then it is to no fault of the woman that she has to be the one that, carries the child. Right? So then should society not then help to like equitize, like make...
I agree, and I think it's great, and I really, really love that companies are doing it, right? I think wage equality is important, but wouldn't you then say that for benevolent sexism, that any policy that a company makes to equalize women's rights in the workplace also benevolent sexism? I feel like people are just finding excuses to like be sexist about something.
I feel like it's something that we just need to continuously pushing. I think the whole point of this movement and conversation is like to keep minds open. Not to set a new set of rules.
So in conclusion, the policies are great. I think people should stop complaining about benevolent sexism because it's an advantage, right? Like the author of the article who covered the research, she did say that yes, actually to some extent, she does feel like benevolent sexism exists, but she doesn't want some conventions to go away. She likes the fact that a guy is the one that goes down on one knee and proposes. She likes the fact that guys pay for first dates.
Women can propose too, why not?
Pet date.
I mean, 1 year after
I proposed.
Isn't that more respectable?
For a woman to propose?
Yeah.
To propose back.
Do you think it's more attractive?
I mean, you propose one time, then
I proposed to her.
I just saw a news story.
And then a year later, she proposed back to me.
How do you propose back if you already proposed?
I asked for her hand in marriage and she agreed. So now she will ask for my hand in marriage. Isn't it modern day proposal now? Like, anybody propose with ambiguity?
It's HDB now. BTO.
Yeah, there's so much certainty. It's more of the girl say,
I might.
What's your timeline? I don't want to rush you, but what's your timeline? Then you kind of know already.
No, but isn't it so shaky? This is why I think equality will never ever happen. Because guys and girls are just different. In a good way, in a great way.
Yeah.
But we don't
embrace
embrace
biologically built different.
I think biologically plays a huge role in that. But women have a timeline, unfortunately, right? Whereas men don't. And so we can live our lives, right, until we're 40 and then realize actually we want to settle and have kids. But women have to make that trade-off and that decision at 30 and decide, shit, do I want to focus on my career? Do I want to focus on kids? And of course, there's women that do both very well. Good job, you guys. But the fact that they have to make that trade-off is damn shit.
Okay, then I have a question like on that note, right? Like if say in like 5 years down the road, men can carry kids, right? Would you all do it? As in, does
like
that,
give birth?
Yeah, will you all carry the baby? But knowing that it's a setback in your career, you're gonna lose 3 months plus after that, then like...
And you have to do it by 35 lah.
Yeah, you have to do it by 35.
5 years later, I'll be 36. So I guess I'm gonna say yes, I'll do it.
Okay, fine, do it by 40, you have to do it by 40.
I think I'll do it. Okay, I mean, I never imagined that far. I always thought if it's possible, if the pain is an output, right, that we can transfer the pain, I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being 7 in a bus and then someone said, hey, lucky we're not girls, if not we have to give birth, damn pain. And then a girl kicked us in the balls.
Pain?
Fair,
right?
Yeah. When I was younger, right, getting kicked in the nuts wasn't that painful. But then you watch WWE, right, it's like a whoo thing, right? So like,
low blows,
when I try to be manly, right, people like kick me in that region, right, I just pretend it really hurts, right?
The first time I got kicked in the nuts, I cried for 1 hour, it was damn pain. I think you didn't get hit in the nuts properly.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, my nuts was too small.
You know, when I was in secondary school, we all played the, 1,000 Years of Pain?
Yeah.
You poke the asshole, right? One of my friends missed, right? Hit my other friend in the nut. He like couldn't walk properly. We had to like send him on crutches, right? He went to hospital, one nut died.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he lost one ball.
Yo, I had that problem,
Nuts can die.
Collective.
Yeah. He lost a ball. And then on the last day of school, right, he wore a t-shirt that said, it's all fun and games until someone loses a nut.
But he took it, he's such a fun.
Yeah, he took it well. Yeah.
Does he have a kid now?
I don't know, but I know his voice pitch like went up like
no way!
Like this.
Say his name some more.
You know when you are primary 1 and then you have to go to the medical room and then they squeeze your nuts?
Never.
No, they don't need to squeeze.
Yeah, they kind of touch your nuts a little bit.
I think you need to call the police.
Then they make you cough and shit. No, so everybody do it. And then when I got a slip, I showed my mother, right? I got hospitalized. I'm the fucker that they check for when they squeeze nuts. Apparently it happens
none of them kena
in a
squeeze.
percentage of kids. No, Oz was nodding. Because in a percentage of kids, right, basically both, like your testicles haven't descent yet. Yeah, so I had one. And apparently it was life-threatening. If I got like kicked in that area, it's like I would die. It's not just.
But then you were thanking the.
Yeah, I was thinking like because it didn't hurt. I thought I was a kung fu master.
Oh no! Then now how?
No, I go for op. They give me a
pull it
cert.
out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Strange.
Then
The incision was not at the nut. The incision was here.
Huh? Then do you since
string
you're doing
that's
it, can you
tying
make it like bigger? Like.
Why you have
hang
big
low?
balls though?
Oh, I don't know. I thought that was a
Yeah,
thing.
I think balls are such a
burden.
Yeah.
Huh. Again, the way, have you ever stepped on your own balls before? It's damn pain.
How big are your nuts?
No lah.
Step
Yeah.
on your own nuts.
Not standing up, so when you sit down,
Wait,
right?
how low does it?
So you sit down and then your leg are like
I
this, right?
never step on my nuts.
Then there's one time that I just, like my balls were just drooping. I think because I was wearing boxers, right? Then I stepped and I got up and then I stepped on my balls. It was damn pain.
Oh no!
Are you also one ball dead? Lucky it didn't. I think it just kena like the side of
What,
it.
you have like
There's like a tiny urn in his room.
strong nuts.
The first time I ever had my first pubic hair, right, it was on my ball.
Yeah.
Okay?
Can
And
relate.
it was one hair, like
Yeah.
long one. So I thought like, wow, a bit weird just to have one hair there. So I thought, okay, fuck it, I just pluck it.
Yeah.
So I take the hair, then I pull one time. The pain was so insane, right? Then I like almost black out for a bit. then I looked down, right? The hair didn't come out, it just extended.
Oh yeah, you know, there's more hair within your hair.
It blew my mind.
It's like a tooth. There's so much more.
But goddamn.
Wait, so do you pull it out in the end?
No, I just left. I too pain already. I cannot.
He almost blacked out.
No, I never. Yeah.
Wow.
My dad cut his nut in the bathtub and it looked like he died. Yeah,
The
a lot of
whole-
blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole bathtub water was red.
I kena before also. So like, cause you know you pull the hair to cut, right? Then a bit of the skin like goes up with the hair.
Yeah.
Then I cut off that part of the skin. And
No, you see, we talk about.
Oh no!
So there's just a series of holes, a string of holes.
So back to the article that we started this whole conversation from, right? Author, who's a woman again, did say that at the end of the day, if she's getting so much shit in the world, right, of sexism, isn't a bit of chivalry a good balancer at the end of the day?
I think the whole point of many of these conversations and movements is not really to establish a new set of social rules and norms. Because I feel like once we get there, there will be a whole new set that people will lobby for anyway.
So something that Jordan Peterson said, right, was he was talking about how men are wired to be more interested in things and women are more interested in people. So more men.
Wait, wire as in scientifically, like the neurons in my brain fire more when I see you.
Yeah. So then, in the industry of engineering, for example, there will be more men because they're just more interested in that and they'll probably be able to do it better, right, for the most part. And then, for example, with the job of like nurses, more women, you will see more women there. Yeah, but is that wrong?
No, I think it's not wrong, but what is wrong is that like if me as a woman coming into the same role as a man and then I'm paid differently, then why?
No, but that's two different things already. That's us. That's us.
As in, I don't think it's wrong for industries to be gender dominated or sex dominated by whichever side. But then where is wrong is if there's a barrier for the opposite sex to enter.
But I think at the end of the day, but this is an assumption, at the end of the day, I don't think people walk through the door and be like, oh, okay, girl, so we offer the girl salary.
Yeah.
I don't think it really happens like that. Because, like, have you heard a conversation like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just that at the end of the day, on hindsight, when they measure the average salary of men and women, men get paid more.
Okay, wait, no, I think...
And I think it's a trait of extroversionness.
Yeah,
Men are more
yeah,
likely
yeah,
to
yeah.
ask for
Yeah,
raises,
yeah.
to negotiate.
That is true. Yeah, I was gonna mention that also. Like, I think maybe women are just less... Like, they just didn't dare to ask for a higher pay.
I really feel like there isn't a male-female pay package that the HR will, open a girl folder and give you the girl package.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, that's interesting. So then if we are talking about, back to your earlier point on like, there should companies like try to like purposely like equalize that pay when it is the pay that I asked for. But then me asking this, right, is because it's been built upon years of like feeling like I'm maybe like oppressed or whatever, and I maybe do not measure up to that pay grade.
I mean, it could be oppression or it could be gender traits lah.
Right.
right?
So what is the takeaway then? I should just...
Testosterones make men more aggressive, but is it because we've been fighting for millions of years, or is it just a gender trait?
To those of you who are still watching, my my question is, no, because I feel like I haven't faced sexism in the workplace, or maybe because of the way I look also, because I model after the men, so that I have equal standing. No, you know like how women in parliament all cut short hair? Okay, but
we don't know how to react to that.
don't know how to react to the truth.
Do we laugh or do we like go serious?
Okay, yeah, but anyway, I'm just curious whether people have actually faced sexism in the workplace and like what the experience was like.
And what do we then consider sexism that perhaps your colleagues or bosses may not think that's sexist, but you found it offensive?
So an example that we just had, right, was when we were talking about balls, right? Was that...
Then I'm alienated, is it? Is that the same as a group of Chinese friends talking about something in Chinese and then the Malay friend can't understand?
Yeah. Was that...
discriminatory in some way?
Yeah. So did we just showcase an example of sexism in the workplace?
Let us know what you think. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Drop us a sub and a like if you like what you watch, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Watch you.
Watch.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
I really feel that, the question is not whether the commanders can run faster than me, because the answer is no. It's whether or not they can run faster than her.
Wow! So sick! Can your grandmother run faster than them? This is your daily catch-up.
Daily catch-up.
Hey guys, so in our episode last week, we spoke about the COVID-19 situation here in Singapore and how some people were slightly frustrated about the lack of instructions. We found out more information, and more information we put out there as well, that home recovery is the default for most of us. So do familiarize yourself with the information, and we've even included the link in the box below. So check it out. So we have two very special guests today. We have the national record holder for many things. But he also broke the national men 7-minute barrier. I don't know what you call it. Mr. Soryong.
Recently broke the internet also. And the spirits of a lot of people.
We also have the first Singapore woman to do a 2.4 km under 8 minutes. Vanessa Lee.
Yeah. So essentially Singapore's fastest people.
Oh my god, I'm so honored to be sitting here.
Yeah. They are superheroes basically.
Essentially.
Yeah, so actually I'm very curious, like running
which is a dreadful thing, right?
Yeah. Like how do you even get into it?
I was in the running CCA in secondary school because, CCA trials are.
Right.
You're going to do this, do that, do this, do that. But the cross-country teacher spotted me and then like kind of roped me into the CCA.
You got the build lah. You're like 80% limbs.
Possibly, but there was a trial I ran around school. The funny thing is that, because it was called a cross-country trial, so they say it's one loop around school. I didn't know you're supposed to go outside the school gate, come one round, and then come back through the school gate on the other side. I thought, instead of exiting the school gate, I went to run onto the grass.
Right.
Because I thought it's...
Which is a bigger circle actually. Yeah.
No, it's a smaller circle. But then I run a bit, then they say, actually wrong direction. So I had to come back. Then actually I was first, I become like 5th or whatever. Right. So I catch back until 2nd. So I think that maybe from there, the teacher was like, actually this guy not bad, put him on the team.
The guy that beat you though?
He was also on the team, so we were teammates.
But now is he still running though?
I don't think so.
But he can forever be the guy that said that I ran faster than him.
I ran faster than him, He damn slow.
Then what about you?
Okay.
Like how do you get into running?
I was from Tanjong Katong Girls' School, right? And then back then
Shout
they don't have like a track team or cross country team like during my time. So basically I was in the music CCA and then like they always have this annual cross country event. Apparently I broke a school record kind of thing. One of my PE teachers, like he saw a lot of like potential in me just because I broke a school record. Then he took people from different CCAs and put a team together so that he could send a team and me to national cross countries.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got 4th placing for national cross countries B division. Yeah, and then from there I got scouted to VJC. Yeah, and that's where I started training seriously in JC.
To put it in context, like she got 4th in the whole of Singapore without training.
Right.
This called talent.
For
my division lah.
Like I trained since Sec 1, and when I was Sec 4, I got 4th at national.
No, and this guy got 7:30 in NS in his 20s. And then now when he's 30, he broke a national record. He only improved by 30 seconds. Very slow rate of improvement.
Yeah, 3 seconds per year.
Unlike me, NS 2 years, I shaved 5 minutes.
Wait, sorry. How do you get to representing Singapore in running? Like, is it you must go in like, hello, hi,
I'm here.
I want to represent Singapore, or do they scout you?
There's a
or-
government scout going to
Yeah.
Actually, because we always have like track meets and all these kind of things, right? So like these are like the SAA organized one, and then you have electronic timing. So it's like sanction-ish.
Basically, you just get a result.
Right.
Yeah, and then because running is quite black and white, right? It's like
Yeah.
if they say the standard
Damn
to
hard to cheat, I
qualify
thought
for SEA Games, let's say for 5K, maybe for the ladies it could be 18 minutes or 17:30, whatever it is. If she runs 17:30, then she's on the team. If you don't run 17:30, then you're not selected. It's very black and white.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So very very happy to have you guys here. Mr. Soyoung especially because you've been in the news recently for many things. Including issuing a challenge. I mean, it started off with like calling out certain people, and then it has now become a Pocari.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. When I first read that post, right, I thought it was damn arrogant.
I think I think you're not wrong to get that impression because the open challenge was made in response to some of these people. I mean, like
what happened there?
So naturally after we ran the 2.4K, this was all like first of all it was like a record-breaking attempt, and then of course like Pocari put on the event, so you want some publicity if the event goes well. So the event went well. The official results was taken by Singapore Athletics, uploaded. And then I think 90% of the response was quite positive. And it went quite viral. People were like, oh wow, congratulations. Like, wow, like lady can run under 8 minutes, man can run under 7 minutes. Like, it's never been done before or proven, you see. But you have your 10% of, I don't know what you want to call them, trolls or
noisy Singaporeans.
Nonsense talkers. I know they came forward and said, hey, like under 7, like very, very good, man. Like, last time my camp got people can consistently run below 7 minutes. And then somehow they smoke. And I think a good deal of these comments like mentioned the commandos. I said, no big deal. Commandos can run below 7 like any day of the week because the splits show that pretty much every lap was below 70 seconds. And so it's like 10 something per lap.
70 seconds.
So I mean, it's difficult to run below 70 seconds even for 1 lap. So never mind 6 laps. So I just want to show that talking nonsense these people, it's not something that half your army camp can do especially without like proper like endurance training.
Right.
Yeah, you have to train at that pace, so it's not that easy.
Why and how do you get to issuing the challenge?
Some of the commandos took issue with the word commandos that I use. So they felt that I was challenging their status as...
And masculinity.
Yeah, no really, it felt like that. Yeah. So there was this one commando, I think he went to screenshot it, put it on his wall and then circle that line, and then like, wow, this guy is effing arrogant don't know what, he's insulting all commandos, So he used it to like stir
How did you and your sponsors feel at that point?
I mean, when I saw that happening, I was like, wow, like they take so much offense at this. Okay, I find a way to turn it into. I mean, I always try and find everything that happens negatively as a chance to.
But you felt
something good
at that point in time.
It's not that I felt attacked. I was just like, how did they like take it so negatively? Like it's
so it was not
targeting
intentional
them.
to instigate to create a marketing drama.
Exactly. It's not targeting them at all.
Of course, if it was, it'd be so genius though. That's what I was thinking.
I mean.
No, but you cover purposely put commando.
No, it's commando because I hear it. I hear it. So that was the nature of how it happened, the origins of it. And then so they piled on to the post. They were like, wow, what's so good about this sub 7? Like last time all of us, our camp got a lot of people can run sub 7. So I got fed up. I said, wow, now that they're not just taking offense, they are like doubling down on the claim that a lot of commandos can run sub 7. Okay open challenge you all come next month.
So you call your sponsor and say...
No. This has nothing to do with my sponsor. It's just me.
Right.
Yeah, it's just me. I don't just challenge the commander, I challenge anyone. You all come down next month, you all run sub 7, I pay you $700 and I buy you 700 bottles of Pocari.
I was actually thinking in my head like, I'd be scared to offend commandos. Like all commandos.
Like scared of what?
Like they literally attack me but then I forgot that he can outrun. He probably can just run away.
No, it's crazy. I remember my fastest batch boy was like 7:30 and he was a god already. He was a trainee then.
Yeah, I remember the number 7:30.
Yeah.
7:30 is like the highest I've ever heard.
Yeah, believable 7:30s, 30ish.
Wait, so sorry, for normal human being, right? Like, how hard is it to get under 7?
I mean, I never ran under 7 and I've been in track for like 18 years. So yeah, it takes a certain degree of training, I guess.
What's your 2.4 timing?
Now?
Yeah.
It's the
Your-
7 minutes 59 seconds.
7 minutes 59 seconds.
First Singaporean woman to break 8, under 8.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Under 8 minutes.
Oh, only person in this room to.
Only. Only,
Okay,
yeah.
besides
you.
Yeah.
Oh, very sure you're like the fastest person really, then kena once for beside you.
No, I really feel that, you know, the question is not whether the commanders can run faster than me, because the answer is no. It's whether or not they can run faster than her.
Wow! So sick, so sick! I can't wait They got people that you feel like maybe got a chance, would?
I honestly think it's okay. Like, I believe some guys really can run like under 8. If they train hard enough lah. It's just that if you want to find someone that runs under 7, it's very, very, very rare. Yeah. Honestly, we go through a lot of shit every day. Like, we train very, very hard every day. Yeah, and people don't have the same kind of training.
No, but is it shared or not? Because like, I mean, you guys really train super hard. You guys achieve so much. You hit all these records and stuff like that. But then there are people who are still like giving you flack.
Well, I think I got them triggered. Like, honestly, I see a lot of positive comments, but that one is like, okay, you know, you can like, oh, thank you. Yeah. And then like you're like, okay, yeah, I did a good job, you know? But then like when I see people commenting on his post, right, like those kind of like, wow, my BMT mate can run faster, that kind of thing, then run under like 6 minutes, I'm like, these fucking bullshit. Fucking idiots. Yeah, then it's like, because it's so unrealistic.
Speaking of social media keyboard warriors, like I think I saw one of the posts that you came out like in defense of Vanessa, so because like people were calling you out for like some really stupid stuff, like stuff like what you were wearing when you run, or like your physical looks.
What do you get?
Oh, when I was racing, I wore like a racing bun, which is like, it looks like underwear. Yeah.
Oh, it's called racing
It
bun.
doesn't look like underwear, like it's professional athletes attire. So like,
I thought you were going to say professional athletes underwear. Yeah. Quite cool.
Okay, she just ran sub 8.
Yeah, and that's what you're focused on, right?
Fastest lady in Singapore to ever run a 2.4K. And instead of talking about her result, so this lady, Jack Teo, probably a fake account, maybe it's not, I don't know. She was like, oh, like, why is this girl wearing like skimpy underwear or whatever?
Right.
Like, ask her to set a better example for the younger girls. And I think that's the part that really set me off. I was like, oh, bloody, like,
right.
I don't think it's polite to use the word boomer because I do think that a lot of so-called boomers do know that this is professional athletes attire. You watch the Olympics, they run in this attire. More also in Singapore where it's hot. You should be wearing this attire. You should be wearing whatever you're comfortable in. I think it's very toxic because initially when like my sister also wears this to compete. Vanessa initially had some qualms about wearing it because I think she's scared what people will say.
Right.
So
you had a feeling already.
Because like nobody else wore it and like we have it. So like why not use it, right? It's professional athletes attire. And obviously like Singapore being conservative and everything, and because everybody else was not wearing it, I was a bit scared to wear it. And honestly when I first wore it, right, everybody stared.
Right.
Yeah. But then after a while I just got comfortable and also because like
when did you feel that everybody stared? You felt everyone stared?
the first time I wore it.
Do you think they were staring because you're wearing it or because it's you?
Yeah, because you're damn fast.
Yeah, because
you just look good in general.
Because I do think that
Okay,
part.
thanks.
No. I do think that part of it is like she's worried that people she feels people are staring at her because of the attire.
Right.
But I don't think
You're projecting that.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe 10-20%, but not everyone.
Would that make you not wear that in the next race?
No, now I'm very comfortable with it. Yeah.
So
I think like it's just maybe
It's
all
so
in my
strange,
head,
like you work so hard to be an elite athlete, like bring glory to country and family. Then people will be obsessed about.
No, it's
your shorts too small.
Like even on the
basically yes, very accurate.
Yeah, like even in the Olympics, like I think they were complaining about how like some beach volleyball teams weren't wearing like the usual. I mean, it looks like bikini outfits. It's not like it's a two-piece, but some of them they were covering up more. And then
they got penalized, right?
Yeah, like a segment of Europeans also were saying like, hey, why are they covering up and things like that? And like, I mean, whether or not you're any side of the fence, like, why are you commenting on attire when it's like the performance and the ability?
No, but it was the opposite.
It was the opposite.
The professional attire was more was
Supposed
more
to be more
revealing.
skinny,
No, but
yeah.
either way, you shouldn't focus on what they're wearing.
Exactly.
Yeah, lah, exactly.
Maybe they scared their viewership drop.
No lah, that has to be it lah. That has to be, because why else do we watch volleyball? Okay, sure, I'm kidding. I don't watch volleyball.
Just lost all your volleyball. He's the one that you asked him what's the score, he said who cares?
Love.
But I've run a full marathon and I hated myself for it. I did it like basically when I was 11, 12, age I normally go to, when I tell stories, I used to run a lot. And so I did my first 10 km at the Stanchart Marathon. And then I think I got a decent time lah. Like when I was 11, I was like maybe 54 minutes or something like that. I just thought, okay lah, I'm going to end up running a marathon. There was an age limit at that point in time, so I couldn't do a full marathon. That was when I was still living in Malaysia. When I came to Singapore, I was so adamant that this was my fresh restart, right? I don't want to typecast myself, you know. I don't want to come to new school and be the runner. Or like, I gave up like photography, so I didn't want to be like the photographer, you know.
Stupid things that you think about.
So I only wanted to keep my cool hobby, so I kept the guitar. That's it.
Yeah. Then you'll be known as the guitarist, what?
Yeah, which was also bad lah, so I was typecasted in the end.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2019, where I'm like the most unfit of my life, right? Someone invited me to like a fun run, like a 5 km fun run, really no prize, nothing, just run for fun, right? And I was so bad, like it took so long. And I just thought, what the fuck, last time I could do like 10 km when I was 11 or what? Like, I'm going to train for a marathon. This was in June, right? And then Stanchart is in December. I thought that I could do it in 5 hours because that was my aunt's time. My aunt's like 50 years old and she always does like 4 or 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
I ended up doing like 7 hours, yeah. Fucking long, my god. I think I know, my time was 6 hours, 50 minutes. And it's night time, there's no one there already. Like, I think
organizers are there already.
there's one person, you know, they have rows of like medals because people just keep running through, right? One guy left on one station just waiting for the medalist to like come in.
Oh my god.
I remember running, I think it was like only 7 km, right? And now I was just like, dude, what the fuck do you sign up for this? Yeah, this is damn dumb. And then fast forward, like I think last week I just decided I wanted to do it again. Yeah, it's so addictive.
You don't learn. I feel like you don't learn.
Don't learn at all, yeah. But I did it for the wrong reasons. I feel like I only did it because I wanted to have a medal. I think I watched like football, right? Like Liverpool won the Champions League, then all got medals. I'm like, I'm never going to be a sports person. How am I ever going to win a medal? And I thought, hey, they got marathons, right? They give medals to like everyone who completes a marathon. So I just signed on.
I can help you right now.
Okay.
So the first time I actually met Ray Yong, right, was when we were working with my previous company, and we actually got him to train us because we wanted to try attempting a marathon for the first time. And okay, so so we did train, right? And what happened was that on the actual marathon itself, right, I couldn't take it at all. I was like dying. Like I think I did maybe like 7 kilometers. I'm dying already. I want to give up already. So halfway through, like all the other people that are training with us already disappeared already, you know. Then I'm just like, I walk a bit. Then I'm very annoyed because I'm not going to walk the whole thing, right? It's like how many kilometers, yeah? So I was looking for a shortcut. Then I saw, the half marathon is this way.
Shortcut?
Yeah. Oh my god, this is the half marathon route. So I split off, so I go to the half marathon way. Then I continue, and then I like, oh okay, I see the end already. So I run, I pick up my pace. You know, at the end got a lot of people, right? Yeah. So you don't want to look like you walk to the end. Yeah. So like, okay, puff our chest, run properly. Then as I'm going to the end, right, then they start to announce, oh, and there's another Singaporean coming in. They're like, then they say my name or my tag number.
Oh my god!
Like, what, are they announcing everybody? Wow. Then the people start to use the thing and push me to the full marathon route.
Yeah.
Right. Then I enter, right, and basically they thought I completed the full marathon because I was still wearing the full marathon tag.
Correct.
Yeah. So I was one of the fastest Singaporeans and I got my medal.
Do you beat his timing, you think?
No, I'm just scared of that. If I beat all the records, right?
Yeah, then you go into the national books and complete.
So what's your official time then?
I don't know. But yeah, if you want a medal.
No, I had
life hacks. So based on that marathon experience, right, I never run again. I really don't like running.
You didn't even run a full marathon?
Yeah. I really can't take it, yeah.
You didn't even do it once, please don't get it wrong.
I got a medal that says otherwise.
So to address the elephant in the room, because it'll be weird if we don't talk about it, given that we have Ryong here with us.
Not me, I'm not the elephant in the room.
But you don't run, you seem like it. Wow, that was quite unnecessarily.
Yes, yeah. You see on this side, you just attack the whoever. Horrible. Then.
But as of when you're watching this, a couple of days ago or last week, there was a verdict. So obviously there's the whole you and Ashley Liu like case, right? I might be getting the details wrong, but to recap for everyone, there was a race that you guys had. A couple of you guys, including yourself, took a wrong turn. Ashley continued along the right path. And then when you guys came back, you guys overtook him and then he finished like 7 or 8 along those lines. And then he received a special award because, according to the story, he slowed down for everyone to like catch up.
According to him, yeah.
According to him, and then but you dispute that, and so then he basically
sued you for defamation.
Defamation, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's essentially it. I cannot comment on the case directly. I would say that whatever I've said is publicly ventilated already, and I stand by everything that I said. I mean, we will be appealing the judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the support that comes in. Obviously, it's not an easy time. I mean, this is not the worst thing in the world, honestly. It's a judgment that can be appealed, and I have confidence
This is not the worst thing in the world. Okay, context. He's been ordered to pay $180,000.
Yeah, that's the.
That's not the worst thing in the world. Worst thing in the world is training.
Yeah, so that's the verdict, lah. But of course, we are appealing the verdict. Personally, I don't agree with it, but we will appeal it, and I feel that we can see eventually a reasonable
how they
decision
even
to be
end up
made,
the 180K, yeah? Okay, you cannot comment.
I mean, I cannot comment.
Well, you're the lawyer now.
You can draw your own conclusions, though. Yeah. That's all I'll
I'm just
say.
figuring out because, like, I mean, to be defamed, there must be some level of reputation, I feel.
Or damages, right?
Yeah.
But I never hear of this guy.
I only heard this guy because of this lawsuit. $108,000 reputation.
Actually, you done him a lot of favors. Like you increase his limelight. No,
We're gonna get sued. I do $108,000. Jokes on you.
No, is he actually like a prominent figure in sports?
I know him because we were obviously in the same race.
Yeah.
But if I was a runner, I don't know whether I'll know him or not.
Oh, okay.
What was the point of him waiting for you? He can't.
Well,
you cannot comment. Oh, sportsmanship.
I mean, that's his story.
Of course, you all need to finish as a team, is it?
No. He took the right path, and then like people took the wrong path.
Why did you all take the wrong path again? The sign not clear.
Yeah, it wasn't marked.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't marked.
So it's the organizer's fault,
You can say that. Yeah.
Okay.
But he cannot completely endorse that. You can say it though.
Yeah, the organizer.
But they also reserve the right to sue you directly.
This kind of thing, then you all go and don't know how to put the sign properly. Bloody hell.
I mean, all this is reported already.
Yeah.
My biggest question is, maybe you commented about this before already. I think it's about upholding like your values and things like that, right? But like, why go through so much when, like,
he can just keep quiet, right?
Yeah. Like, okay,
not like it would change the result.
He won the award, but you still won the race. It's not like he went and win the race also. Like, why pursue this so hard?
I mean, I've already ventilated that, but I can't comment on it again.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Fair enough.
Okay.
No,
it's okay.
I mean, my reasons have already been given as to why lah. It's already out there. I cannot be talking about it on air.
Okay.
Sure. You can Google and find.
Okay, but I got a question. Why he need to get the award for slowing down?
I don't know. I didn't even know such an award existed.
Yeah, so they just basically, the organizers just made it up for him.
It's another award I can win.
I mean,
slowing down can give you award. This type of thing we can compete. We slow down for awards.
Let's go.
But I think essentially, of course, not a good situation to be in. Let the legal process take its place. But in the meantime, it's just annoying because it's like on the internet, right? So you have internet trolls who send comment.
I think it's kind of
stuff.
coupled with like when you issue the challenge that time. I think it was not represented very well, right? So some people
it was one thing after another.
Proud, the other group were feeling like, hey, this guy a bit Haolian. And then coupled with this one, I feel like that's where that whole backlash is.
When you issue challenges like that, you have to be prepared.
So going back to the defamation suit.
Okay,
right?
so the defamation suit report obviously came after the challenge, so kind of sweet timing. I mean, we actually don't know when the defamation verdict will be out,
Right.
Honestly, I expected maybe a few months down the road, but then it suddenly is like coming out. Suddenly it's here. Okay, so like I said,
when you read it, pause.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it is what it is. So I was saying that sometimes people when you are of a certain level of success, people can't wait for you to lose. I think there's quite a bit of tall poppy syndrome here in Singapore. I mean, freaking Grab CEO buys a house and people are complaining that, this is where our money is going. He's buying. Hey, dude, it's his own money.
Yeah.
Like you go and start a company, then you make money, you can buy your own house. I mean, there's not a problem with that.
It's a lot of envy for success.
Yeah, and I can assure you that if he gets into trouble or for whatever reason, may no fault of his own, people are going to be celebrating. So I think on my end, people have been waiting for me to lose for quite a while, and I haven't really failed at running for quite a while, number of years. This setback, obviously those people who have been waiting a long time to get their hands on the keyboard, took this as a chance to come up. But a lot of these are fake accounts lah. So it's also like, you know, you see an account that says stuff that's not nice and probably not very accurate. So you click on it, and it's like,
you don't need to entertain lah.
Don't
Don't
even
waste your
read
energy.
lah. Your sponsor got scared or? Your sponsor got tell you what the fuck you doing.
Well, I think
got
that
sweat.
I think my sponsors who work with me, they believe in what I do. I mean, whenever something like that happens, we also have a chat and they see things from my point of view. And of course, on my end, I also try to not be too controversial for the brand.
Yep.
But sometimes, you know, it is what it is.
But they already know what you are like.
I think they know the background of maybe this case or whatever, and they're willing to still support. I mean, honestly, this one has nothing to do with Pocari whether or not the verdict is for or against, it has nothing to do with. Of course, the keyboard warriors will try and turn it against. They will like tag your sponsor and stuff. But these are fake accounts, like, you know.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
you're trying to appeal it, right?
Yes, that's the reason.
Are we hopeful?
I mean, yes. If I would say not hopeful, don't bother lah. But I mean, I know what we need to do. I know
you do 180 grand, you just try your best.
No, speaking of the 180 grand, right? Like what stood out was that if you look at other defamation suits, like the Lee Hsien Loong case, for example, right? It's 100,000 in general damages, 33,000 aggravated damages to a total of $133,000.
Yeah.
And that's Lee Hsien Loong, right?
And this Lee Hsien Loong, the Prime Minister. But the sum is 120,000 for general damages, 60,000 for like it's more than what Lee Hsien Loong is like getting for his damages.
For his reputation.
For his reputation, which seems very off lah.
Who this Liu guy?
Do you know how they count this money or not? You cannot say.
Warning.
I mean, I don't know how lah. Honestly, I don't know how this number was arrived at.
Like, for example, maybe he had like a sponsorship deal which he lost, then a sponsorship deal is 100 grand already.
I don't believe that was the case.
Right.
Yeah, I don't believe that. So at least that's not
what you don't know lah, basically.
That's not the case that he presented or that I'm aware of lah.
What do you guys think about the whole conversation and debate around Olympians and Paralympians being paid out different amounts, or the call for people to be paid the same, like for them to be paid the same?
Okay, I just want to put it very clear. I'm friends with our top Paralympians. Yip Hin Siu, I've met her multiple times in the gym. She's incredibly
we love the Paralympians.
Inspirational, nice person.
No, I want to point out that we are putting them on the spot by asking this question. But okay lah, but let's get the truth lah. If not, what's the point, right?
Yeah, so
don't give me the PG answer.
Yeah. We're really
you know me lah.
since when
I give you PG answer?
We don't know. Vanessa hasn't talked yet, maybe she will.
Thinking about it. Okay lah, the difference in payout is also because like the Olympics is for everyone to participate, but Paralympics like they have different assessments, and I feel like sometimes the assessments for the Paralympians to be put into a certain category can be very subjective, and like it could be like faked to a certain extent. Like we'll never know lah, we'll never know. But like it's just that sometimes when it's that subjective, then when you win in your category, it's not as.
I think the right word to describe what you're saying is prestige.
So, okay, honestly, I agree with Vanessa. I think she was a bit apprehensive to share this view because it's not necessarily the most popular view. I think it's very easy to say. Give them the same. Olympics, Paralympics should be the same. Equal value, equal rights, or all these things. But if you really break it down, the Olympics is for everyone. It's open to everyone, best in the world. When you come out to the Paralympics, it's not so straightforward. It's like the number of people you compete against, it's not like the Olympics where, for example, there are 50-something swimmers in Joseph Schooling's event at the Olympics. I think it might be very different for the Paralympics. Maybe 10, 8, I don't know. Yes, men, women, but within each event, for example, the swim, like 100-meter freestyle, right, you have a few different categories.
Like I saw a dude that, it was a big pong thing. To be honest, when I first saw it, I thought it was quite funny. I mean, but bastard, right? Respect to the athletes.
I don't
see how it's fair when one person with one hand playing ping pong, which kind of, I mean, okay lah, it's a whole body activity, but you really need the one hand lah, right, to work. And then the other person is playing with the mouth. How is that fair?
Yeah.
Like you cannot even smack. You know, like the other dude can only return. Best case scenario, they return the ball.
Who won in the end? Can't remember.
Do with the hand lah, dude! You never know. Because maybe the guy in the mouth is so good.
Do with the hand one lah!
I think if I play against a ping pong player, it will be funny because he will be like Paralympic ping pong player play with the mouth. I think he can beat me.
Yeah,
that'll be funny, you know. Funny at my expense lah. But these people are incredibly skilled.
Yeah.
Despite their disabilities.
It's a celebration of human spirit.
Definitely. Paralympics kind of rides off the back of the Olympics. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way, but if there wasn't the Olympics, do you think people would pay attention to Paralympics? Even
now with the Olympics, like you
It'd
can
be
see-
quite distasteful, right? Actually, if there's no
It
Olympics,
actually feels a bit.
and then the whole world just organize and put disabled people for a competition, it feels like a game
is it?
show.
Circus.
Yeah.
No, I don't say circus. I'm not ready to make it look so like you and your.
I read
I feel like your
his line, I
stomach
read
very. Your appetite for drama, we all not same. I like to sleep, right? This guy fucking trying to put circus in my mouth.
Oh my
Okay, so the Paralympics, there are many different categories also. So it's not just disabled, but how disabled are you?
Yeah, like I didn't know he was bringing up just now that low IQ is a.
Yes, so okay, like this one, some of you are laughing, bastard, but low IQ is. You're fucking laughing. Low IQ can be considered a mental disability, and that gets you eligibility to take part in Paralympics.
Right.
Yeah. So, for example, some athletes may have had brain damage from a sickness or high fever or whatever when they were younger, and
that's different lah. Brain damage will be different lah. But if
but
you
the
just say
assessment
low
is low
IQ,
IQ. Yeah, the assessment is on IQ. It's
so
from
if
what I
you
know.
are honestly born with low IQ,
I don't know. John, you try John Paul. Want to try laughing down there.
Which is lower, you think, your IQ or EQ?
So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it does like these things maybe you can learn, like take away from today. Like there are different disabilities. Like physical disabilities is one, but mental disability is another.
And I think because the spirit of Paralympics is for
inclusivity.
So yeah, that person over there that's trying to say, you are not equally able. At some point, there's a grey area that's up to that one person to decide.
Yeah,
or that little committee to decide. And they still need to appear inclusive. If not, what's the point of doing this whole thing, right?
Yeah. The whole trade-off between inclusivity and high performance is the more inclusive you want to be, the less high-end performance you can be.
Yeah.
So you look at the viewership between Olympics and Paralympics, it's already starkly different.
Yeah.
What happens when there's no Olympics? Would people still like really watch the Paralympics? So yeah, like it comes back to 1 million versus 200,000. I think that you know me, like I've criticized sports authorities on a number of instances where I feel that they're not fair.
One scandal at a time, bro. One scandal at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Chill out.
Exactly. But in this case,
your mother will worry.
To me, it's like if the sports of soccer got so many fans, got so much money there, right? Then the prize pool for their awards will be bigger versus a sports they don't watch like beach volleyball.
No, but it's a little bit different in that sense because like football players get paid more for viewership. It's correct because there are sponsors. Yeah, but the Olympic Council doesn't pay Singapore when Joseph Schooling wins.
Right.
So this money is not so much thank you for bringing honor and glory to our country. A little bit of that, but I think it's more to encourage athletes to do their best, I guess.
in this case, $1 million for a gold medal in the Olympics is the most that is offered anywhere in the world. If you want to make money from Olympic gold, you should be Singaporean because this is way more than what any other country gets. So in that sense, this is going right for our athletes lah. But on the argument of whether or not Paralympics should also be 1 million, I think the authorities have gone through a certain thought process, and I believe this is their thought process lah. Yeah.
Just want to say, like, massive respect to Paralympians.
Yeah. I think we're just really discussing the merits.
Yeah.
We can go in a circle and be really PG all around, and then there's no point.
I think it's good to have an honest conversation about it. I see why people want it to be the same because I think it's a very it sends a good message. You know, we value our Paralympians, equality and stuff, but it's not so simple. It's really not so simple. Yeah. So that's what we just want to say.
Indeed, unpopular opinion. We're gonna get our ass wet.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to Rayon and Vanessa for joining us today.
And for speaking the truth,
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure. No
PG
hold
about
bars. Really honest. And just adding on to a little bit of what I said earlier. Yes, cases are on the rise, so let's do our part. You may be eligible for home recovery if you've tested positive for COVID-19. So if you're fully vaccinated between the ages of 12 to 69, have mild or no symptoms, and not living with anyone above 80, you'll most likely be on home recovery for 10 days. So stay isolated, and when it ends, don't suddenly go and meet all your friends. So stay safe, and let's keep everyone safe. And if you like what you watch, remember, drop us a sub and a like. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
I heard right that there are these like
Let me just call it. Okay, I'm just gonna call them the elder orgies.
Are you legally allowed to hit back? It's Tuesday, May 25th. UFC is coming to a train near you, and a Lambo owner got slapped. This is your daily catch up.
Okay, then what headlines for today?
New tattoo.
Shut the hell up, faster, go.
So to calm some nerves,